dude.
I like that comment you got when you on your video of Euro, the one you posted of him saying the N-word, where someone is like, "This isn't an insult, Jimmy, but this is the most millennial video I've ever seen in my life."
I don't even know what that means.
Nah,
Like, is
when I
woodworking
watched
a
the full video, I
millennial
understood it. Nah, it's just the
thing?
way it's shot. When I watched it feels like
I don't
had
get
it
it.
have been horizontal, it straight up feels like a that was me, by the way, if you heard a double. It straight up feels like a video that would have been shot like earlier YouTube. Maybe not like early, but I would say like if I had to give it an era, like definitely early Ray William Johnson era YouTube.
I feel like that's an even different thing though than what you're saying. When I hear millennial, I just assume they were saying that millennials woodwork, like that's our thing.
Oh no, I took it as maybe we should go ask the comment for clarification. I took it as the way it was shot felt very millennial coded.
I'm putting millennial in. I understand millennial.
The one in his wood shop.
No, not
about
that
Euro.
One. This is my voting,
which is the only time we're talking about Euro all day. By the way, this man really wants our fame and fortune, and we're not giving it to him.
They may have misspelled, or I did. MIL. I did 2 L's the first time. Is it 1 L 2 N's? No,
I have no fucking clue how to spell millennial.
I think it's 2 L's 2 N's.
Is it? Yeah, it's 2 L's 2 N's. You're right. Luthien knows how to spell. She's a writer.
What is she writing
now too?
Don't answer that question now that
It's mostly supernatural fanfic where the boys find out they're not brothers, so it makes what happens next okay. Jovan, okay, I found it. Jovan and I are. Go ahead and put us on the screen. I don't care. Jovan and I are looking for clarification on what this specifically means. So the person
I don't know, it's so funny.
The person wrote, "This is the most millennial video I've ever seen. It's not an insult or a compliment, just an observation from a fellow old balding millennial."
Such a good comment. It's not an insult or a compliment.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
I was trying to think, like, when I watched it back, I was like, you know what vibe it gives me? Were you a part of YouTube back when Creator Insider would come out? They still do it, but sometimes it would feature other YouTubers, and so Mr. Beast did some of them. I felt like I was like, ew, this is the vibe of those Mr. Beast Creator Insider advice on how to make good YouTube videos. That was the vibe I had.
It feels, and this is going to be a weird way to put it. There's this dude on TikTok who I watched so many of his videos. He was this like black guy in glasses who would teach you like how to do basic life stuff. And it gave me those vibes. Like
I think I know. Do I know who you're talking about?
Yeah, but like that's the vibe that I got. Good. I think that's not a bad thing. Just I don't know why the hell you filmed it vertically.
Well, originally I was going to do it as a short, and then it was just too long. I did it. Wait, you don't know why I did it vertically? You told me to do it as a short instead.
Okay, but then you didn't do it as a short.
But then it was too long, and I felt I wanted the whole context in there. So if you all don't know, I posted a video that I recorded because this is the amount of attention Euro gets from me. I was not willing to stop anything I was doing to record my response video. So for those of you who don't know, I have a wood shop. I'm starting a wood shop channel, but the channel's going to all be like, there are these Christian woodworkers that always like slip their Christianity in, whether it's Bible verses all over the place or wearing stupid Jesus is Lord merch. And I'm planning to do an irreverent version of all of that. So all of the woodworking I'm going to try. There'll probably be like cabinet project where it's like, all right, guys, here's how I'm going to put up these. I'm making cabinets for my shop, but maybe I'll engrave it with some boobies. I don't know. Anyway, that's at Jimmy's Wood on YouTube. If you want to find it at Jimmy's Wood, that channel's all starting. Anyway, I was building a cart. By the way, if you want to debate us and you're MAGA, the phone number's on the screen, 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. Euro and we
Did
had
we
a
get
debate.
Confirmation of the wrong phone number, by the way?
Oh, I haven't looked. Let me double check. Euro basically has made a bunch of accusations. Basically, Euro did so badly, the only thing he can do to try and save his like ego is to just say one, our studies were wrong, and then he goes and he quotes the wrong studies, I understand, from your video, like what the That he basically was saying like studies said what he said when they didn't.
It's not even that he quoted the wrong studies. It's that he didn't actually address our position, which was voter ID is fine if it's free.
Right. It can't be a financial burden, otherwise it's a tax.
They kept saying it's voter ID is unconstitutional. I'm like, no, we didn't.
Right. So they just straight up lied about a bunch of stuff. Lied and said we muted. We never touched any mute buttons on Zoom, on vMix, anything. We never muted any of them. They both came up without professional microphones. So Zoom, every time there was competitive audio, mixed them out. And in the case of his racist Grandoff, which I'm calling him Grandoff now because he's not just a wizard, he's a grand wizard. In the case of racist Grandoff, he kept clipping so much, like if he would just try to talk because his mic was so shit, Zoom mixed him out. So he's saying basically here's the thing, guys. Let's just say I was a person who was willing to cheat, and I'm not, but let's say I was. Why would I waste that on them? And there have been people who have been positioning it, and I fully agree, where they're like, this is who you guys are debating. Like, isn't this like, aren't you guys not on the same level? Also fully agree. We've got a lot to do. We've got a lot to build, and we need an archive of debates to build it. Right now, if we're going to build a specifically debate channel, we're going to need views. We're going to need subscribers. We're going to need all of that kind of stuff to be able to go to people with more of a rep. I agree. We're much better debaters than Euro is worthy of debating. We'll get there when we get there. And so we're building that up. And speaking of, for those of you who are on Threads and stuff, you might have seen a guy's post go a little bit viral recently. It's a man flexing his arms. His name is called Professor Mike, and he's wearing a black shirt that says Democrats can't debate. Now, I'm not a Democrat. However, I will announce this Tuesday, you can set reminder, the event's already up. This Tuesday, we'll actually be debating Professor Mike. I don't know that he's a professor in anything. I'm excited to find out, but that's what he calls himself. We'll be debating Professor Mike and some YouTuber who just goes by Mother. I'm probably going to be calling her Mother MAGA. I don't think I call my own mother anymore, so I'm not going to be calling a stranger
when
mother.
I hear if I hear somebody call their mom Mother, I assume they're fucking their mom
or estranged. I never fucked my mom, but I was calling them father and mother.
Think it's a psycho. People. I think it's a psycho situation. You must be kind to mother.
Okay, no. I've never said it like that. I refer if I'm talking about my mother, I refer to her as my mother. If I'm talking to her in person, I just avoid honorifics altogether. I don't like calling I don't like calling my parents mom or dad because it's not like they ever bothered to be one to me.
By the way, if I get up quickly in the middle of a call, it's because I got to poop.
Okay. Hey, that's usually the same, that's usually just overhanging all of these shows for me as well. Hopefully it's not both of us at the same time, guys. And when there's like a MAGA on air, unmuted, it's like, all right, well, with this time. Anyway.
I've had instances during my calls sometimes where I've had to like quickly get up because of whatever happening around me.
Yeah.
And I'd forget and leave a caller on air. Luckily, none of them have been douchebags.
But you're like, not this time. It won't be for any of those other things. I'm not taking care of family. It is to evacuate my bowels. Yeah. Anyway, 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. Jessica, so we don't take free intern people or stuff, but it's possible we will do an open call for editors should the Wood channel become profitable to the point that it warrants editors. Man, I have such a strange feeling about so many things too. I'm like, man, I'm trying to do this big organization with lots of people, but do I launch a Patreon for just the Wood projects? Is that wrong? Because is there going to be people who don't donate to the line because they donate to me?
Right? Like the Wood stuff is just like your own.
Yeah, and this channel started as my own thing and developed into something else, but I also don't want to create competition for any of the bigger thing.
When I come back to visit, I thought of a great show idea. You who has a good knowledge of woodworking, me who has literally zero knowledge whatsoever.
I thought it would be fun to have when people come out, especially after the summer passes, because I'm only going to be in the shop at night, because even with the AC in there, it's going to be unbearable during the day. But I thought it would be fun to basically just have when people come out, cool, we're going to figure out a one-day project we could do together and we'll film it. I got the cameras I got for them, the one that you saw tracking me, are actually awesome. Put up a link to the Wood. It's youtube.com/@Jimmy'sWood. I'm sure one of the mods can get it. Anyway, all right, Jovan's going. Guys, conservatives, MAGA, you're not good. You're not good at stuff. You're not good. Here's another thing that we would like to talk to you. The phone number is there on the screen, 336-543-2101. A bunch of, not a bunch, actually, there's not that many. The 4 fans of Euro were in the comment section this week talking about how they could take us. Well, and I've told a few of them at the very least, great, call in. We're ready to talk to you. I'm ready to talk to you. Let me actually pull it up. But the phone number is there, 336-543-2101. The earlier you call in the show, the more likely you are to get on. Generally, they always make us wait for that first call. They're always reluctant at the beginning. Then we get talking, and then more people want on, and then we're having to rush through the last hour of calls because they all waited until that last hour. It's very, very frustrating. So if you want to get on and actually debate us, have the room and time to debate us, you could do so. You could do so. Ninja Mans, you were talking about barring someone from being racist or bigoted, completely up to you, but no word belongs to a demographic. Every word is available to be used. You're wrong. Call in. Call in. We're live right now. We're waiting to talk to you. 336-543-2101. 336-543-2101. There was also another person. Hang on. I'm looking for them. Nobody has a crush on you. Left a comment. You are welcome to call in. Looking for you, but where's the... Okay. Tracy Love DJT claims that we stopped her from getting through, that she called in as MAGA with a question directed to us, the leftists. Definitely didn't happen. At the end of the show, the only queued people that we had left, we had run out of time. There was like 6 people who wanted a MAGA call and 2 people that were directed toward both. She claimed she called in with a question for us, with the facts that we weren't going to be able to handle blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying it didn't happen. Either she called and tried to set up her boys for a softball, but there was nobody, literally the whole show, because they don't have a real audience. They didn't have people actually watching with the bravery. And this is what keeps happening with MAGA. MAGA's falling apart right now, by the way, guys. MAGA is literally breaking apart. I predict they're going to re-coalesce around Tucker Carlson in the coming year or two. But at the moment, they are falling apart because they've lost on every regard. Literally, think about a few months ago, this show. Whenever people would call in, MAGA would basically say, look, you might not like these things, but the 2 things he's doing good is immigration and gas prices. Well, after the whole Kristi Noem fiasco, they had to fire their head of, was she DHS or she was the head of, not DHS, she was the head of, was it DHS? Yeah, she was. Kristi Noem, head of, yeah, it was DHS. I don't know why I was getting that mixed up. It was DHS. Okay. Anyway, Homeland Security. She was the Secretary of Homeland Security. She got fired. They were doing so bad. Guys, gas prices. It was like $80 to fill up my truck yesterday. And by the way, my truck wasn't even fully empty. $80 bucks. $80, guys. I'm literally hauling stuff to my wood shop and I'm having to gas up and I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. Which, by the way, is a disproportionate tax. Raised prices on gas is a disproportionate tax on poor people, on small businesses. Rich people actually love rich companies. And this is why I say, part of why I think MAGA actually hates small business, because they are supporting all of these things and continuing to defend all of these things that are disproportionately hurting the small businesses. Basically, if you start a business right now that isn't AI related, you're not going to get investments in the first fucking place. You just have to be doing something that is essentially successful right away. And if you don't, you're going to go bankrupt. They hate small business because they keep supporting these things Trump does. Trump keeps doing these things like tariffs, which the big companies can afford and don't mind because, yes, do their prices go up? For sure. But it also puts out their small business competitors. I've said it this way a few times. If you go to a grocery store, a local grocery store, and they closed because of the tariffs and because of the other bad small business practices the MAGA are doing, all of those people get absorbed by the big chains. And so literally, Walmart can look at that and go, look, sure, our prices went up whatever percent, but the number of consumers who only had us left to come shop at have more than covered that. Our profits are still exceeding that because the small businesses are going out of business. MAGA hates small business. They keep supporting things that are bad for small business. Dude, this data center, Kevin O'Leary, there is nothing that could happen to Kevin O'Leary that I would be like, that's a shame. What a shame. It's a real shame, guys. Whoever did that should be ashamed of themselves. Kevin O'Leary is a ginormous piece of shit. Kevin O'Leary, open invite to debate anytime. You MAGA, self-aggrandizing, narcissistic, resource-hoarding bitch. I will debate Kevin O'Leary any fucking time. Jesus fucking Christ, what a piece of garbage he is. He is building a data center in Utah.
What the hell?
Why are you echoing?
I don't know.
You're in here twice now.
Okay, that should have fixed it. I'm in the Zoom twice?
Yeah, and so I now hear you twice. Okay, now you're back down to one.
Be.
Yeah. Okay, that was fucking weird, man. Kevin O'Leary, yes, Kevin O'Leary is MAGA. He goes around and he defends Trump. He gets all indignant on Abby Phillips when she's like, can you see how small business or individual people, they're feeling left behind. They're feeling like giving all this money. And he's like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Retract what you just said, saying that rich people don't need to be richer. This is America. By the way, he's a fucking Canadian. He is building a data center in fucking Utah. That is going to basically at launch use twice as much power as the rest of the state combined. That's fucking crazy. All this while Utah and Arizona and other states are getting their pollution standards basically removed because they're saying it's not our fault. All of the pollution that are in our basins is getting blown over from China. The whole reason we have pollution, by the way, y'all are listening to this rant. Y'all can tell like this is a fucking thing and a fucking problem. That's why MAGA's not calling right now. No MAGA has called. They know they can't beat this shit. They know they don't have a defense. I'm waiting for you guys. Call in 336-543-2101. You can't defend it. You can't defend how Trump is treating the economy. You can't defend Trump's war in Iran. You can't defend, obviously, the obvious one, the Epstein files. You can't defend how he's doing immigration. You can't fucking defend gas prices, cost of living, free speech. You guys ran on comedy is illegal now. We have to get free speech back. Nobody has been worse for fucking free speech than Donald Trump. MAGA won't call because they can't defend it. They know they've lost on everything. If I'm wrong, the number's right there, buddy. We'll hear you out. Tell us how we're wrong. 336-543-2101. I just don't think you will because I think you know you've lost. I think that MAGA knows that they've lost and it's fucking like pathetic, honestly. To be MAGA now is pathetic. Go pull up
the Google trend and see how leaving MAGA is doing on the Google Trends. See if it's been searched much more.
I didn't even know that was. Is that okay? Here's the problem I have with something like that. You remember the tech issues we had with a fucking Euro's a YouTuber and he could not figure out a live stream and a stream key. We had we had a tech issue that night. Tech issues happen. The size of our production is ginormous. Compared to him, he just had to get an event and a stream key. Literally him and Grandoff were literally like, oh, we're not very, we're confused with tech. I'm not even joking. I'm trying not to talk too much shit about this thing we have on Tuesday. I don't want to scare them away, but legitimately just trying to get photos and stuff and get these guys into a Discord. Literally, I'm already getting from our next one. I'm not very tech literate. I don't know how. I'm not very good with technology is what they said.
I hate when people do that because it's like Google.
Right. Great. I'm glad the whole burden is on us to make this work, that you guys are like, I'm having to sit here worry that you're not going to manage Zoom. And I've asked again, are you coming with a proper camera and microphone? I've heard yes. We'll see. We'll see. I hope they can pull it off. I hope they can pull it off. I'm really confused about the person he picked as his debate companion. Because
I haven't looked up or seen any of her debate stuff.
I was looking a little bit last night. She doesn't make any original content. I couldn't find any original content. It's just her like lip syncing political figures saying stuff. Which, if that isn't a metaphor for what MAGA debates are like, I don't know what is.
True. Are we doing opening statements this time or no?
Yeah, well, we did last time. I just didn't care that much. 2 minutes each. I just said I'm Jimmy Snow. I was born in the dirt. Remember?
Oh, I thought that was just like introducing ourselves. I meant like.
We'll extend it out more this time. We'll extend it out more. Anyway, MAGA, Christians, anybody who disagrees with us, you think that you can take us on. The phone number's right there. 336-543-2101. 336-543-2101. The number's there. I'm both surprised and not surprised that they're stacking L after L after L right now. It's gonna be wild. Are we gonna have a moderator this time? So kind of. I want as little moderation as possible, but we're going to take the burden of reading off of our opponents, and we're going to let a moderator pick which question is going up next. There may be a system in place by this Tuesday where some people, I probably can't open it fully to everybody for fear it's thousands. It would destroy our system. Some people, maybe we do patrons or something like that, are going to be able to see the call screening and upvote the ones they want. Some public version of seeing that call screening screen, I think I am going to make, just maybe not interactive for the audience. I'm going to try to make that by Tuesday so we can't have another situation of, I tried to call and I didn't get on. So like everybody can see who did or didn't. If that was true, you'd be able to say, guys, I'm on the phone right now and on hold, but they haven't added me to the queue. What the fuck's going on? Like, you would have all the proof you need. You could record that. You could record yourself getting screened and all of that and us not adding it. Anyway, that'll be the closest. All right. What should we do to get some calls here? I've been ranting a lot.
I mean, I just went live on mine, so we'll see if we can pick up the
We've got good algorithm right now. Numbers. We've got almost 1,800 people here. MAGA's just scared. You know?
It's the reason why I think most of my calls nowadays are like anti-trans calls, because they can't actually debate the politics stuff anymore.
Right. Why is it not letting me take a poll?
Trump is so big business that he ran Spirit Airlines out of business.
I put a poll up, so you probably have to delete mine.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. MAGA, are you here? There they are. Okay. It says some of you are here, guys. We'd like to hear from you. 336-543-2101. Christians, we'll talk to you and debate you. We'll get started. We think abortion is fine. We think that MAGA is bad for America. We think Christianity is bad for America.
True.
We're ready for you.
Anything else? Any other ones?
Man, on the spot, I can never think of anything. Yes.
I want more immigrants.
Yep. Immigration's a positive for America.
I want less police. I want more porn.
Well, it's what the internet is for.
No more bans on Pornhub. I want it on every smartphone.
Socialism is what America needs to switch to. And if we don't, we're fucked. Literally, we're fucked. If we don't become a socialist nation at minimum, we are fucked. And that's because of, it's not just that capitalism is worse or whatever, which one's inferior. Capitalism has put us in a position where our only viable future is socialism at minimum. And if we don't, you will die. If you're watching, you will be one of the people who maybe somehow it gets pushed by a generation. Maybe it's the people behind you. You will die. We are absolutely at that spot where we are heading toward a place where we have 7 billion. Is it 8 billion people now? How many people in the world?
We should do mock presidential debates.
8.3 billion. I can do all of them.
Get a conservative that, and like have them go up with their, like what they think their platform should be and what we think our platform should be.
If we were president.
And then at the end have the audience vote who they would elect.
So those apps are interesting, and I'm familiar with those apps for like polling audience and stuff. Something that's actually integrated into our call system is something I have to custom build. So that's why that wouldn't work. Where the screeners add calls to the queue and then people could go and upvote the ones they think are good or whatever. And we just don't currently have the infrastructure to support it, but in the future we could. It's also going to cost a lot more. So we first need to test if that's even something that is useful. 336-543-2101 MAGA. We're ready to hear you defend your guy. We're ready. Christians, we're ready. I think that they have given up.
The MAGAs are in my chat, like talking shit, but they refuse to call in.
Why aren't you guys calling in? We're ready for you.
They're all they're all cowards.
I don't even know if it's one of those things where, like, if I've been that gung ho for Trump, let's say I had been that gung ho for Biden and Biden did as badly as Trump, I'd be like, why would I want to call in either? I think you guys are scared. Trump lost. You lost. You know that you have done irreparable damage and you don't have a way out. You're going to probably try and get all back up together and you're turning your back on Trump. That's at least nice to see. And then you're going to go to something like fucking Tucker Carlson and think that he's going to be the guy that makes it work, because you guys don't realize conservatism is over.
Did you see Trump posted, I guess somebody was like, you only have 177 viewers. You're sad and not making a difference. Homie, check out my normal streams and say that shit again to my face.
We're also at 1,800 on the other stream, guys. So basically combined, we're closing in on 2,000. Call in.
Did you see Trump posting that shirtless pool photo with him and all his boys?
Gross. No, I've been
middle of the night.
I've been staying off.
He posted some really weird AI shit in like the middle of the night because he's sundowning.
Dude, I showed you that Grandoff, his like profile photo on Discord is a AI photo of him with his shirt off, like bullfighting or bull wrestling or something. It's so pathetic. When that man is not going to die. He's not to be insensitive, but I'm going to be insensitive to overweight people as one of them. That man is not dying with both hands and feet. Is what I'm telling y'all.
And well, definitely not with all his teeth.
Well, those might already be gone. And then when they find him as he dies of old age and they have to get a fucking bulldozer to get all of his hoarder crap out of the way. Anyway.
That was, I think, the best joke I made in that response video.
Was it?
They were like, oh, you're trying to make us look like the stereotypical MAGA. I'm like, no, his living room does that for us. I don't have to do nothing.
What did we do to make them look like that? Literally, they came to a debate.
To them at one point.
We came to a debate and they got to say their side. If they came looking like typical MAGA isn't the typical cliche MAGA isn't that you couldn't figure out your microphone. So every time you clipped, you got auto mixed out. It's that you say dumb shit and you look ill prepared and you don't know. And this guy, it's really funny. The way he was like, I won that debate because of the hours of work I did after to cherry pick. And now here's my hours of streams. How can you win a debate then where we got an hour to talk? And by your assessment, you got 10 hours at minimum. Your 10 hours versus hour one as you're going, and all of your winning the debate happened after the debate. That's when you chose to make your good points, which I haven't watched. I suspect they're dog shit points. You made all of your good points after. And so retrospectively, because you assessed that you made good points after, but not during the debate, you've now won the debate. That's how debates work. Are you fucking stupid?
They didn't make good points after the debate either.
That's what I'm saying. But it's almost like a person it's like a dude. All right, you and I, we're going to have a swim competition and we swim and one of us wins by a lot, to the point that the other opponent's team and all of their friends are like, sorry, dude, you lost bad. And so that guy goes home, doesn't show you the timer, just does a lap at his pool and goes, I just went even faster. So I won that swim because he finished in 16 seconds, but here at home, I just finished in 15. So I actually won that swim. But then actually, if we went back and timed it, even at home, it was like 2 minutes instead of 15 seconds. What a weird thing to think it works. Anyway, we've got at least one call that is going to get screened here in a moment. We'll check. I'm getting a little bit of a troll alert. I'm going to be honest there.
Yeah. Possibly.
They hung up immediately. What do you mean possible? Look at their fake ass last name.
Yeah, they sounded like 12.
Oh, when you answered,
that 16-year-old called me yesterday.
Yeah, somebody was texting me about
it. Both his parents on the line. And then he said some absolutely wild shit. Apparently, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Did you know that the babies God kills, they deserve to die because they willingly chose to go away from God? So those babies all deserve to die because they made that willing decision.
To the child who just called, is it okay if I call Jose and play the voicemail recording that you just left, or the when you auto screened the things you said to the screener? Would it be okay for me to call Jose and play it for them? Because if you're going to call in as a troll and you're going to be a child, I might just call your parents. So is it okay if I call Jose and play that for him? Anyway,
so I'm telling your mom.
That's right. I'm going to talk to your mom. 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. Do you feel like the parents were coaching him? Because obviously, the first time we talked,
I can hear his dad giving him answers in the background.
So why don't we just debate his dad?
Like, to the point where I didn't say it, but I did
tell
ask.
Your dad to call.
I was like to his parents, I'm like, do you guys also think babies deserve to die because they chose to sin? And they were like, well, that's what the text says. I'm like, no critical thinking in this family at all.
Bro, just call us actually directly. Either be present, so we'll let your son be on the phone and keep your mouth shut, or if you're going to open your mouth, just debate us directly. We're ready.
Also, chat, it definitely was the same kid because Jimmy just said his name.
Well, I know somebody texted me that Noah called back.
Oh.
I thought the kid's name wasn't Noah.
I mean, maybe it is a different kid. Maybe we both talked to two different 16-year-olds who put their parents on the phone to confirm they can speak to us.
The kid I talked to tried to call back last week. Oh, dude, I have to tell you about another call from last week. All right. Here, let's do this, guys. Help us out to get some calls on. If you're watching right now, double click the screen, get like. We're going to keep talking shit about MAGA until MAGA actually grows the audacity to call. They're pretending they have anything. They don't. If you want to call in and say the way we're treating Erica Kirk is wrong, call in and tell us. It's not. She sucks. She sucks. Erica Kirk sucks. If you want to call in and whatever culture war you want to have, abortion is good. We should give everybody the right of abortion back, fully unrestricted, no government in the way, just a woman or a birthing person and their doctor. Call in 336-543-2101. If you're watching right now and you have a MAGA dad, go get your MAGA dad. Go send a message and be like, hey, you and I debate. I'm not as good at articulating those things. I get frustrated because you're family. I would like you to call these guys and have the debate with them because they are more practiced at articulating the things that I am often thinking when we are arguing. Send them our way. We're happy to talk to them. And that phone number is 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. We're waiting for the first MAGA of the day who's going to have the audacity. I feel like it's going to be another one of those days where we have 3 hours and they're all going to wait until that last hour to jump in. So let's skip that, guys. Help us find that first MAGA caller. 336-543-2101. Go ahead and take this stream and share it somewhere. I'll go ahead and share it on Threads while Jovan says things to try and get people to call because I'm bad at writing out at the same time.
I think all abortions except for compelled abortions are good abortions. Don't you guys agree? As long as abortion was not compelled, W for that person for exercising their right to bodily autonomy. W to them. Truly. That's what I came here to say. We chilling, bro. I don't know that we're gonna get many calls. I think it really is showing that not even just MAGA, but the right. The right is terrified of proper debate. Unless they can have 17 people on a TikTok live, they don't want to debate people anymore. What happened to we activated 1 million Charlie Kirks? What happened to that?
We carry the flame.
Oh, I would play it, but you don't want to get copyright struck from AI, right?
If it's 3 seconds. Has anyone actually gotten struck for 3 seconds?
No, I've actually played it multiple times and YouTube's never struck me because I don't think it's copyrighted.
I think you have to hit 10
AI.
seconds. No, I think somebody confirmed it was copyrighted recently, I think.
Oh.
But it wouldn't matter. They don't go after anything every time. Oh, and also if you just sing along, that breaks their robots too. Carry the flame. True. Unless they have an actual active, like the Beatles have people who go around looking for who's fucking it up. If I just drop a like, hey Jude, now the stream is dead. Now we're fucked. I said Jude. Stop freaking out, clans people. I'm not one of you. 336-543-2101. You know how to call us. We've got a call being screened now, it looks like. Dude, I have to tell you about John, who called in this last week. You know John from Canada? Baptist? No, John from Canada.
What about John from Canada? What do you do?
Do you remember him? The guy who's like, I don't want healthcare. That would be socialism. But he's from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He called again. And this time, I don't remember even how he got there, but I was like, how tall are you, John? And he said, 6 feet tall. And so I said, John, I will give you $200 if you will prove to me that you are 6 feet tall. And he was like, I'm not gonna, this. And then I was like, $300. Oh, this is just silly. And I think I went to 400. He's like, how would I even have to prove it? I was like, you take a video, you show you taking a tape measure and marking where 6 foot is on the wall, and then you stand against it. The video just stays fully like out so I can see you're not moving anything. And he was like, I'm not gonna. I was like, $500. You already told me you're broke. There's no turning down $500 if you're actually 6 feet tall. And he hung up. I don't think he's gonna even try to call back ever again. I think now he's out. He's out and he's done.
That's fucking funny. I had a cop call yesterday. Well, he claims he's a cop. He probably wasn't. But he was like, I don't think people should be able to do frivolous lawsuits on police. And I asked, well, what's an example of frivolous lawsuit? And he brought up a Minnesota lawsuit where a cop was being sued for murder. Or not even sued. He was being tried for murder, right? Like it was a trial. It wasn't even a lawsuit technically. So he was being tried for murder for shooting someone in the back of the head. And the guy was like, well, that's frivolous.
That feels like a troll at a certain point. It literally, I mean, just what definition of frivolous? If you just want to say frivolous, cool. So let's just say anytime anyone is shot, if a gun is discharged, period, it's definitely not frivolous. If a punch happens, any sort of physical violence happens from the cop or the other person, automatically not frivolous, even justified. You can still sue for it and they still have to prove in court that it's justified. Like that, it's just such a dumb, what if shooting someone in the back of the head isn't worthy of a lawsuit, doesn't mean you're going to you might somehow find a way to get off and you might somehow be found not guilty. How is somebody died? Is there anything less frivolous than a death happening? I kind of don't think so. Anyway. All right, let's talk to Mark in Arizona. Mark in Arizona, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. Mark, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Enjoying this hot weather out here in Arizona. We're already hot.
Yeah, it's getting hot down here in Texas too. How old are you, Mark?
I'm 56.
And Mark, in the we have over 2,000 people watching. Do you want them to refer to you as a he, a she, a they, or something else?
I have a penis, so I think that should clear it up for you.
Great. So would you like them to refer to you as a he, a she, a they, or something else?
Well, what else is a guy with a penis, a person with a penis be called? I'm just curious.
Mark, would you like to be referred to as a he, a she, a they, or something else? It's not a trick question.
I think I'm not being trick about it. I'm telling you I have a penis. That makes me male.
Hey Mark, are there 100%. People with penis? Yeah. Are there people with penises who prefer to be referred to as a she?
They can be referred to all they want, but that doesn't change their biology.
But Mark, to be clear, but Mark, that's not what we're arguing. That's not what we're arguing. You asked, what does it mean? What would you prefer if you have a penis? Yeah, Mark, it is. So, Mark, I'm just going to ask you again, would you prefer they refer to you?
I'm a he, yes, I'm a he. Yes,
okay, excellent.
I'm a he. It's Wonderful. Not an argument. See,
and then at 56 years old,
we have a fundamental problem on debate if you think I can choose my gender. You can't choose your gender.
Yeah, I agree. You can't. I actually agree. You can't choose your gender because I don't think it's arbitrary. I don't think people are choosing. I just also don't think that gender and sex are linked because I side with the science. Mark, at 56, the last 3 elections.
Science, and if you have a penis, you're a male. That's science 101. You learned that back in school.
Oh, actually, Mark, you're incorrect. Actually, Mark. Okay, hey, Mark. There are individuals with XY chromosomes. Is that a male or a female?
That's 100% male. 100%.
Okay. Now, there are people with XY chromosomes who don't have penises. Are they male or female?
They're still male. And if they don't have a penis, that's because they surgically chopped theirs off.
No. Born without a penis. In fact, born with a vagina. People with XY chromosomes born with a vagina who can give birth.
And I'm sorry, what are those called? What are those called?
Whatever they want to be called.
Well, they're called, no, what are they called scientifically?
There's a number of terms. Are you wanting all of the syndromes and all of the conditions which it could be? I think you're trying to ask for, are they referred to as intersex? But Mark, it doesn't matter if they're called intersex. Mark, it doesn't matter if you say it's intersex. We just talked about if they have an XY chromosome. You said they're a male. I said they don't have a penis. Hang on, Mark.
Okay,
hang on, Mark. Mark. You said definitively they are a male. I said if they don't have a penis, you said they're still a male because they have an XY chromosome. But a moment ago, before that, you said penis is what makes a person a male. So what I'm pointing out to you, Mark, is what I'm pointing out to you, Mark. What I'm pointing out to also. Okay. I'm going to mute you, Mark. One, because your audio is terrible. This is my main problem actually right now. You sound like you are trying to talk over like a mill. Like you're milling some metal right now and you're trying to talk over it. So we need you to fix your audio situation, get isolated from that audio and be close to your phone. But second of all, Mark, when I bring you back on, sex and gender, according to science, are not the same thing. And this all came down to a very simple question. You could have answered one word and we could have moved on, but you do want to argue about it. There are people with penises who would like to be referred to as she. There are people with vaginas who like to be referred to as he. Because gender and sex are not the same. Male and man are not the same. It's more complicated than that. It's weird actually how hard, especially you find MAGA folks, want to claim brains are much simpler when brains are actually quite complex. And that's why we have such a complex array of identities, even outside of gender. Mark has given up. Mark gave up, doesn't want to have his debate about abortion because Mark lost so terribly on this pronoun thing, which is where he was staking his flag. So Mark, if you want to call back and have your debate on abortion and not get lost at the very simplest question that we were asking you, by the way, for your comfort, because whether or not you agree that they should be, Mark, you're aware that there are in fact people who don't want to be referred to that way. And so if anything, you can just proudly identify that you're not trans, for example. It's not going to change how we're going to do our thing. All right, we'll pull it back up. Mark's trying to call back in. Mark, is your audio better now?
I hope so. How does it sound now?
It definitely sounds better. So Mark, I don't much care whether or not you agree with the science that confirms that trans people exist. You know they exist. You know that pronouns are used differently by different people. And again, it wasn't a trick question. All we were asking you was he or she or they, and you went with he. Would you like to continue talking about trans people and we can find out if you understand the science behind why transgenders identities are legitimate, if you actually are familiar with those studies, or would you like to get to your abortion debate?
Well, it would seem like I'm 100% familiar. It would seem like the debate would be raging on between me and you because we lack the fundamental basics of understanding science. So let's not, I didn't call in to discuss transgender. I think transgender conversations are a very slippery slope because, as I said earlier, you even said it, it's what people would like to be referred to. There is no scientific fact behind any of their feelings of what they'd like to be called.
Mark, that's just not true.
Sorry, you're incorrect.
Mark,
there's lots of science behind it.
I'm sorry. There's
according to you, that's okay.
Mark, not according to me, not according to me. According to neuroscience, according to advanced biology, according to sociology, and according to psychology. All of these fields of study validate trans identities, every single one of them.
And even without having to go so far, Mark,
you can say no, but I can pull up textbooks that disagree with you. So I don't really care if you say no. What is no?
Hey, Mark,
what is no?
You know what's interesting to me, Mark, is I actually don't even think you really believe it. I don't think you actually believe that, Mark. For me to believe your position would mean that I need to accept that you don't experience as a man the literal like experience of I feel like I'm a man. Maybe you don't. Maybe you are trans. Maybe you're gender fluid. Do you not experience a psychological experience of maleness that you would call manliness? You don't experience something like that?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. What was the question one again? I do want to answer.
Do you experience? Do you have the experience of feeling like a man?
Do I have the experience of feeling like a man? I've never been asked that question before. Let me ponder this for a second, and then.
Sure.
I mean, I do. I mean, I'd really like to answer. Well, let's see.
I definitely do, Mark. I am a queer man, but I'm not trans. I'm a cisgender man. I was born apparently male. I've never had my chromosomes checked, but I was born with the markers. It's likely I have XY chromosomes, but on top of that, there are certain things that are traditionally considered masculine things that I get euphoria from. I'm literally a woodworker, and some part of it is I like being the bearded woodworker who looks like the meek and mild carpenter Jesus. And I like riding horses. I like doing, I like wrangling cattle. I like doing shit that is considered traditionally masculine. And when I'm perceived as masculine by other people, I even experience a sense of gender euphoria. It is nice to have affirmed from other people, because we're social creatures, that they are recognizing my enjoyment of masculine activities. Do you experience something like that, Mark?
I absolutely do. And since I got a little bit of more information from you, I'll try to share as fast as I can a little information about me. I said at the beginning of this that I'm a libertarian, and you know, being libertarian, that takes a lot away from MAGA and from the left. Okay, because I think they're both sides of the same coin. Okay, being libertarian means you have to comprehend. A lot of people don't understand what it means to be a libertarian. Rule number one of libertarian is we the people. If you haven't figured that out, they were all libertarians in the beginning. There was no such thing as Democrats or Republican in the beginning. There were
you're talking to,
there were libertarians.
You know, we're socialists, right? We're not Democrats. We're socialists. If you really believed in we the people, you'd be a socialist too.
No, that's not true. There are certain socialist things
what do you mean it's not true?
Fit in a. Well, let's not get off topic, but I'd love to come back and talk about that. Please.
We're off topic. You're engaging us as though we agree with the capitalistic framing, which is what Republicans and Democrats and even you, as a libertarian, are. Libertarian is anti-we the people. Libertarian is pro we the people who made it and fuck everyone else.
No.
Actual we the people is socialism and communism.
Understand what it is to be libertarian. No.
Does a libertarian society have a responsibility to lift people who are in poverty out of poverty?
100%. But not give it to them.
Does a libertarian
they have to pull their weight.
But not give it to them. Did you hear that?
Right. So does a libertarian party, does a libertarian society prohibit the existence of rich people if any poor people who are hardworking exist?
No. Libertarians
then you aren't we the people.
Are capitalists. We are capitalists.
Then you're not we the people. Then you're not we the people. You are capitalists.
You work hard, you earn hard, you get to be paid hard.
Hey, Mark.
And you get to do whatever you want with your...
Mark, capitalism does not say any of that. Capitalism does not say if you work hard, you get paid hard. Capitalism says capital has the power. So if you already have a lot of capital, in fact, in a capitalist world, you cannot work hard at all and be rich. All you had to do was be born rich. Or be in a position where you can invest money and have your money make more money. In fact, the least hardworking are the richest people.
Mark, do you believe there should be government programs for people who experience poverty?
For actual people that experience poverty, yes, but not the people that are taking advantage of the system that we don't fund them out. The people are
great. Mark,
people on,
let's say I have Mark. Hold on, Mark. Mark, let's say I want to implement a government program, and this program could feed every child in America who's hungry, but like 10% of the people who go on this program are going to misuse it. Do you think we should pass this program through?
No. In fact, you have to find a way to
because you're a piece of shit.
No way that there.
Then you're not we the people.
No,
because you're a bad person.
Let me finish my statement
Mark,
first,
you're a
and
bad person,
then
Mark.
you can.
The points are in the name.
Yeah,
Capitalism is the ism of capital. It is moneyism. Socialism.
Mark, you just said you wouldn't feed. You just said you wouldn't feed all children if there was 10%.
Question.
You did answer. You said no. You did answer. No is a complete answer.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
No,
answer the question.
No, it wasn't. Okay.
Go ahead.
To further on, to expand on what are we saying right now, today, with every EBT or any type of program, any type of program like that, it is being misused by 60%.
That's not true.
Bro, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that study. I'm gonna need that study.
You could. No, don't say look. Give us the actual source. Nope. Give us the source, Mark.
Come on now. I didn't come with sources sitting here. Neither did you guys.
Of course you didn't.
Hey, Mark. Oh, no. We have sources all day long. Are you kidding? If you want, ask us for a source anytime. We'll get them for you. Hey, Mark, in a libertarian society, are you allowed to pay a person who works 40 hours a week less than a wage that is enough for them to live comfortably?
Wait, Jimmy, I'm just going to real quick, before we do that, I'm just going to give a quick statistic real quick. The USDA, the agency that does food stamps and, EBT and SNAP and all that, estimate that the total amount of fraud is approximately 1% or less. So why did you lie, Mark?
I'm not lying. Your source is fucked.
My source, which is
what's the better source?
Listen to what I said one more time.
What's the better source?
I did not say EBT specifically. I said of all government payouts and handouts, 60% is being misused. That's all of them. There's hundreds of them.
Hey, Mark,
82% of all statistics you say, Mark, are made up.
2 or 3.
Mark, you're presenting this without evidence.
You made it, or you say are made up.
You're presenting it without evidence, so I'm just going to dismiss your point.
And I know I'm correct because, again,
you're not correct.
This is not what I called into. Listen, here's what I called in.
Okay, Mark, you are incorrect, just so you know, on the fraud thing.
No, I'm not
before we get to abortion, I have one more libertarian question. Mark,
listen, just because you guys are liberal and you think your things are right does not make you right.
Hey, Mark, I'm not liberal. You've already lost. We've already told you what we are, and you can't even. Okay, Mark, I was a libertarian. I left it because I grew up. I have another question for you about libertarianism. I don't trust your ability to recall a study when you couldn't even recall our political affiliation, which we told you 10 minutes ago. So here's my other question about libertarianism.
Listen, here's a fact about something. I will forget more statistics voluntarily than you will ever comprehend. I do this
I'm going to give a stat real quick. I'm going to give a
stat
real quick. I'm going to give a stat real quick.
You guys tell me I'm wrong. You can't even tell what a boy or a fucking girl is.
Mark.
And you want to tell me my facts are wrong? No, they're not.
Mark.
I know that you just resorted to 4 different fallacies to make your point, so I don't know how you think you're doing as a debater.
Hold on, Mark.
You said it earlier. Oh, shit, I'm masculine, shit.
Mark, stop talking for a second, Mark. Mark, stop talking for a second.
Mark is crashing out because he's hormonal.
Just really quick. The U.S. Government Accountability Office, this is GAO.gov. Okay, they did a big thing about fraud. They looked at the fiscal year 2024 and looked at how much of government spending on programs were fraudulent, and they found that it was about 3% to 7% of total federal spending for the year. Why'd you lie, Mark?
That's a little far from 60%.
You guys, listen.
We must just not comprehend the ones you forgot.
It's not working. Listen, you can gaslight me all you want.
So provide a counter, Mark. Provide a counter
on your side.
Mark, shut the fuck up. Mark, shut the fuck up. Mark, this is done. This was done. Mark, shut up. This was done by a Trump agency. What are you talking about?
I don't care. I don't support Trump in any way, shape, or form. Trump's an idiot.
No, Mark, dumbass. You said it was liberal media. This wasn't done by the liberal media.
No, I'm talking about you guys, and I'm talking about no matter what the facts are.
We're not liberal media either, dumbass.
And you're
Mark,
trying to
if you can't,
Mark,
if you're dumb, Mark, no, hold on, Jimmy. Mark, if your dumb ass can't provide a counter source, and all you're going to hear is me giving you not only the name of the organization that did it, where you can find it, GAO.gov,
Yeah.
You can go to their improper payment section where they did one for the entirety of fiscal year 2024. I'm giving you the exact number. I can give you the exact number of fraud estimates in the year. It was 233 billion to 520. I know he's not listening, but I'm going to keep saying it. 230. No, Mark, you're going to wait. Mark, you're going to wait your turn. Sorry, mute. You're going to wait your fucking turn, Mark. This is an entire report. And they found that, roughly speaking, fraud losses in the fiscal government make up 3 to 7% of total federal spending. And Mark, you have no counter to this, so you're just crashing out.
You're just saying, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to hear no. I don't want to hear nuh-uh. I don't want to hear any of that. If you don't have a counter, Mark, then here's what happens. I'm right and you're wrong. Yep. Because you can't provide a counter source for your own fucking dumbass claim.
Hello?
Yeah, Mark, what's your counter? What's your counter-actual argument?
All right. First of all, my counter is, and number one, I want to start by saying I called in to talk about abortion, not any of this shit. We went down 5 different rabbit holes. That
this is generally what a person says when they are failing in their own argument.
Now listen to me talk. I heard you talk. Now listen to me.
That beep was me muting you. You can't tell me what to do. You're a guest on our show. We'll extend to you when we so choose. The shit you're saying is bullshit. And you're basically whining about, this isn't even what I called him to talk about. Why would a person who thinks they're winning a debate say that? You know you're losing and you're saying it because you're like, can I please get to something else? My hormones, I'm getting so baited right now. And I really want to talk about something I have a better shot at. You've lost on this. You don't have data on your side. I mean, and all you've made are claims of like, I will forget more than you ever comprehend. Okay, cool. Good luck proving that too. You're getting wrecked right now, Mark. So Mark, now what's your counter argument? What evidence do you have that Jovan, who just laid out why you're wrong, that he is in fact wrong? What is your evidence besides assertions of your own brilliance? You're reminding me of that dude on Twitter who's all like, I have the world's highest IQ, so I'm right, and there's no evolution. This beep means you're unmuted.
Over and over.
You're muted that whole time, bud.
First of all, let me answer the question uninterrupted, please. And you will like what I'm getting ready to say.
I won't promise uninterrupted.
Right, because as soon as I start making sense, you guys just want to rail me. First of all, I called in about abortion, not this. Second of all, if I had my computer right next to me right now, as you guys do, and I could pull it up, I would be able to pull up 100 pages, not just one. And every single one of them would have different values that you discuss.
Tell me what to Google.
But you stick with the one that you think is right.
Okay,
so tell me what to Google. Instead of doing the actual labor
Mark, you have a smartphone.
Great, tell me what to Google.
Mark, you have a smartphone.
Mark, tell me what to Google. I'll go find your sources. I'll go find them. Tell me.
He has a smartphone.
But in order for me to look
he has a smartphone.
In order for me to look up that statistic.
All you have to do is put the phone on speaker, swipe up, and click into your fucking browser app. So what the fuck are you talking about?
That's fine.
How old did Mark say he was?
56.
56. That explains it. You don't know how to fucking use technology.
Yeah, I have a degree in computer science, you fucktard. 3 of them, so shut your fucking mouth.
You sure fucking don't if you're sitting here like, well, I don't know. I don't know how I can Google something when I'm on my phone.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
My guy,
your degree in source.
Your degree in
pull up a source.
Mark, your degree in computer science was gotten back when punch cards were still a big part of the operation. I'm not that impressed by it.
Math. I still do it for a living. I make my money doing it. So
I bet.
Whatever you say.
I bet.
Smart guy. So whatever you think
thank you for acknowledging it. I don't want you to be intimidated,
though. He called you a smart guy. Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
I don't want you to be intimidated by it, though.
I called in for a debate, not a fucking lynching, okay?
Wait, I just want to use Google. I just used
Jimmy. And have a debate instead of
Jimmy, I just used Google Overview real quick. I just use Google Overview real quick because I just, we like to sometimes just see what it tells us. While fraud and improper payments are serious issues in government programs, the specific claim that 60% of all government programs are fraudulent is not supported by official data or nonpartisan reports. That's crazy. Who would have guessed?
Must be right. That one website must be right.
I agree, though.
Who would have guessed?
You said you called in for a debate. Start acting like it, and we'll have it. But you keep melting down and just saying dumb things.
You're the one that started telling me I was wrong, and that's not how debates work.
You were wrong. I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
You present your evidence. I present mine.
You didn't present
you're
evidence.
Right. Mark, you're right. And we've presented our evidence, and you haven't presented yours or even begun to try. You just keep saying. You just keep saying the evidence exists.
I found it on the internet. Therefore, it must be true.
Actually, I'm going to have to mute you again, Mark. Incorrect. He gave specific places he saw it on the internet, specific sources, and your assertion was, I will forget more studies than you'll ever comprehend. Mark, I'm sorry. And now I am exiting the debate portion. Mark, I don't consider myself a brilliant person. I am positive I am much smarter than you are. Like way smarter. Like you aren't somebody there are people who I will get around who I'll be like, I disagree with them, but I'm intimidated that intellectually, how well they articulate, I might at least look dumb. I don't know if I can match up to them. Mark, you aren't in control of even your hormones. You don't have the intellectual capacity to regulate your emotions and speak clearly. You've yelled, you've resorted to the dumbest insults, and you just talk about how smart you are. The biggest intellectual losers in the world talk about how smart they are. I will remember, and so you're sitting here and talking down and keep reminding me that we're stupid and you're smart. I'm telling you right now, I don't think I'm that smart. But I know I'm smarter than you. You are not intellectually impressive remotely. So if you'd like to restart and have a debate, sure. If you're going to complain about not getting a debate, you can't do it after you've acted so little like you want one. I'm going to unmute you. If you'd like to make your points about abortion, I know you're going to go off on a whole thing and you're going to be like, you guys are gaslighting. You also, by the way, don't know what the word gaslighting means. So that's a problem. But
and then can we do abortion, please?
Sure.
Can we do abortion? Okay.
Yeah.
If you concede that you were you have to concede you were wrong about the 60% number.
I don't need him to concede.
I do. Sorry, I do.
I'm not.
I do. I need you to admit you made the number up.
I'm not ever going to admit, and I did not make.
Can you admit that you cannot present the evidence to support it?
And I guarantee if I had the time right now, I would find you the source. Now,
so you wait. So Mark, hang on, Mark. Before we'll do abortion in a second. If you'll commit right now to next Sunday, you'll call back early in the show and you'll give us those sources. Jovan and I are back Sunday, so those sources exist. You're going to call back next Sunday. You have a week.
For some reason, I really want to entertain that idea, and I'm happy to come with receipts. I didn't call for that.
Mark, can I write down your number and call you next Sunday for it if you don't call in?
Sure. Feel free to text me. Absolutely. I would be happy.
No, not text. I'm going to call you when we're live. No.
Yeah, that's fine. But here's what happens. I'm self-employed at what I do, so I'm very busy. I didn't. What's that?
So am I.
Okay. Well, what I said was I'm all for it because. You see, a man in his convictions, they're not worried about what somebody thinks in different forms.
Bro, I'm saying the same thing. I'm looking forward to your source that is more reliable, that will demonstrate the 60% fraud. That's crazy.
Perfect. I would love to show you that. I'll come with receipts. Now,
I'm sure you will.
I wanted to, and I'll be honest with you. Can we start all over and not do the insults? Can we just do that? Can we do that?
Can you?
Just allow. I didn't start it. You did.
Are you sure about that?
You guys started with the insult.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
Are you sure that you didn't just start with, are you sure that it's not just what you consider insults didn't start with us, that maybe we consider the intellectual condescension insulting too?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so from your point of view, what you consider insulting. Because insulting is subjective.
All right.
That's not what I said.
Can we do that or not? Can we just start all over and talk about abortion?
Great. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Cool.
I'm going to start with a phrase, and you guys are going to, I guarantee, just this phrase, and I'm going to let you guys talk for the next 20 minutes because that's all you're going to do is railroad me anyhow.
Okay, so wait. Nope, I'm muting you. You just asked, can we do this now without the insults? And you started with an insult. So, Mark, we can do it. I'm going to need you to apologize for within moments of asking to do no insults, starting with an insult. And I don't care about whatever you're like, that's not an insult, that's a fact. You're going to blah. Insults are subjective. You asked for us to do no insults. That was an insult by my consideration, because that's what matters here. So if you apologize, yeah, we can move on. You just asked for no insults and then started with one. So would you like to apologize for beginning?
Apologies. My
What's
sincere, complete apologies. I said it six times. How many more times do I need to say it?
Well, you were muted. You were on mute, dude.
Oh, that's right. You're going to mute me because you have the button. I got it. Okay.
Correct.
I got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Even though I was
that hard because you were planning another insult and then you switched to a button? It was nice, though.
It wasn't an insult. It was just an observation. But that's okay. I apologize. I can see how that was taken as an insult. My apologies.
Take it as. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, go.
Again, if you're going to ask me questions, let me answer them. You're not letting me answer them. You're taking control of what you think.
Yes.
So here we go.
Correct. That's my
job.
Ready
for that phrase? You ready for the phrase?
Yeah.
You ready?
Go.
Abortion is not birth control.
I don't.
Period.
Okay.
When we talk about abortion, you don't talk about abortion. That's the second half. You talk about right when two people are getting ready to have intercourse. That's when the discussion comes in about abortion. Do you want a baby? Yes. Then
Mark, is Plan B abortion?
Do you want a baby? No. Then let's use birth control. See, then
Mark,
the problem
Plan
of abortion
B abortion
goes away. 100%.
A Plan B is an abortion? Then abortion 100%. Is birth control. Then it is birth control.
If you're pregnant, yes.
Yeah, Plan B is an abortion. Well, first of all, pregnant.
Plan B is abortion. Yeah.
When is the moment a person is pregnant?
That means you aborted a birth. Yeah.
When is the moment a person is pregnant?
From conception.
So the very moment the sperm fertilizes the egg, when it's still in zygote form and doesn't even adhere to the cell wall of the uterus?
That's when DNA is actually formed. That is
so you recognize that naturally
DNA is actually formed.
Let me finish it.
Because I think it's.
Let me finish it, Jovan.
Oh, okay.
You recognize then, Mark, that that way more take abortions completely out. The overwhelming majority of zygotes are naturally aborted. Most embryos never adhere to the cell wall.
You can have a natural abortion. Yes, I am well aware of a miscarriage. Yes.
So no, not a miscarriage. Not a miscarriage. Miscarriage is a.
Okay, that's what I'm
so you don't know what these words are. I'll explain them to you. Miscarriage is when you are pregnant. Miscarriage. Well, you just used.
Hold on, that was insulting. I need an apology.
Okay, great. Okay, no, Mark, I will apologize. Mark, I will apologize if you now give me the definition of miscarriage and it's correct.
What do you mean definition of miscarriage? It is very simple. A miscarriage is very simple when somebody is pregnant and their body naturally aborts the abortion, the fetus.
Incorrect. In fact, you are incorrect because you said moments ago that, excuse me, Mark, I'm going to answer now. You said moments ago that pregnancy begins at conception. It is not a miscarriage if a zygote never adheres to the cell wall. Miscarriage means that specifically an embedded pregnancy means that we've gone from zygote to embryo and to fetus, that is lost. Therefore, the thing that you do with Plan B, do you know how Plan B works? What happens when you take a Plan B?
I 100% don't understand Plan B because I've never taken it.
I'll explain it to you.
I guess
a Plan B makes the cell wall of the uterus hostile. In other words, the zygote, which already has an above 50% chance of not adhering, won't. And so basically, a natural abortion ends up the same type of natural abortion. The only thing that isn't natural about it is there was a chance before it would have adhered to the cell wall. Now there isn't a chance it will adhere to the cell wall. So do you still stand by that Plan B is an abortion?
I do. And
would you prohibit them?
Would I prohibit Plan B?
Yes.
That is a moral discussion, and that's what I wanted to have, was a moral discussion. And my discussion of that is...
Would you prohibit, though? The question is, would you prohibit it?
I don't think I would, but I would prohibit the reasons for using that.
Not only is it birth control, it's birth control you wouldn't prevent people from having. Because people use Plan B generally, it's called Plan B because something else failed. No, but you also said it's not birth control, and clearly it is. People take Plan B when their condoms fail or when something else happens and they think there is a higher chance. That's why it's called Plan B. So yes, you said it's an abortion. Abortion isn't birth control. By your own logic, Plan B is an abortion and it is birth control. So abortions are
my
in
own
fact.
logic. No, by the way that you made it, my logic be that. That's okay, because apparently no matter what I say, it's still going to come out the way that you heard it.
He doesn't understand the real. Before we get there, I just got to mention.
I understood it.
I just got to mention.
I understood it perfectly.
Stop, Mark. Clearly, you didn't, or you wouldn't have said that
What?
sentence. I just have to mention. Mark said that abortion. You know, we need to be having a conversation about birth control, not about abortion, and that people should be using contraception. But per Guttmacher, which is like the leading institute that tracks abortion statistics throughout the United States, 51% of all abortions are done because of failed contraception. So people are using contraception for more than half of abortion. So then what your statement quite literally means nothing.
That number's correct, but okay, let's just accept it. That's fine.
Wait. What would be? Hold on, Mark. Mark, do you have a source you prefer I use other than Guttmacher? Because if it's going to be the case that every time I give you a source,
this is not a.
If it's going to be the case that every time I give you a source, you go, well, I don't know that that's correct. So you give a counter source.
In the conversation of absolutes, this is why I wanted to have this debate with you. In a conversation of absolutes, you don't nitpick after absolutes. Absolutes is it. The only people that make definitive little tweaks about it are the people that feel the opposite. So they come with all these other little things about male being male, girls can be male, males that have males, but they have vaginas.
Mark, are you actually trying to wait? No, stop. Mark, I'm muting you for a second. Mark, this is the second time you've been losing on a topic and went back to the trans topic. So you're saying you're here debating in good faith. You keep complaining that we get off topic and topic about other things. You didn't win the trans debate we were doing at the beginning, but you're acting like you did and you keep going. So now, instead of making an argument, you're saying you're arguing with two people you don't respect because we don't even know about gender stuff. Why would we continue if you're going to keep going back to that? You didn't win that one. You might think you did, but you didn't. You didn't win that one. I won't even declare that we won that one. But you keep trying to go back to, it's not a debate if you're not open to being corrected. And if the reason you're not open to be corrected is you're going to say that because we accept that trans people have a legitimate experience, which, by the way, is what matches to science. So why, if every time you are losing and you get to a place where you can't actually give counter evidence, counter information, you can't actually counter the point, you bring up one of the past debates because you know that your people on the right with your cisgender, heterosexual, white penises that are very afraid of being attracted to somebody that turns out to have or have had a wiener, every time you're just going to jump back to that one as though that, here's the simple question, I'll unmute you. What did the question you were asked have at all to do with the trans debate we were having earlier? Why did you invoke trans shit at all?
I was simply making the point that you weren't going to listen either. Anyhow, I'm using an example to.
We've literally listened the whole time, Mark.
Who said? I know that. Who said? I know that. That's why
so
I
you
waited
concede
patiently.
So you concede that you were wrong.
Who said I didn't respect you guys? Who said I never said I didn't respect you guys.
You are behaving as though you don't.
That's rule number one of being a libertarian. It's we the people. That means everybody.
Oh my God.
Whether I agree, disagree, or believe or not. Okay. That's why I said that's why I said you have no clue.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You're using the word the word respect means a lot of things.
I'm a libertarian. You're not. I'm not on the right.
I was a libertarian. You are on the right. Libertarian is a right-wing position. I've had to mute you again. I was a libertarian. I understand libertarian very well. It is I like describing it as, I got mine, fuck you, I don't care if you get yours. The respect for people thing, you are using a fallacy called equivocation. But don't worry, I'll forget more fallacies than you ever comprehend. You are trying to switch in what the word respect means, even from a libertarian perspective, to the way I used the way I used respect moments ago. So instead of all of this equivocation, instead of all of these meltdowns, would you like to actually make your point? It has already been demonstrated to you. Anything is birth control, even if you morally disagree with it. Late-term abortions, let's say a late-term abortion that I would disagree with. That baby is gonna be born in 2 days. And a person is like, go in and make it as painful as possible. It's conscious, it's healthy. Let's kill that fucker. Whether that is or isn't birth control has nothing to do with the moral position on it. And as far as what you said earlier, plan B is birth control. You've agreed with that now, that assertion. And therefore, you also said abortion. This is how basic logic function works. If A equals B and B equals C, A equals C. A, plan B is abortion. B, abortion is, rather birth control. Plan B is birth control. Therefore, C, abortion is birth control. That is basic logic. A equals B equals C. Therefore, A equals C. It's the basics of how it works. And you've actually had that laid out to you and then go, but no. Yes, A equals B. Yes, B equals C, but A does not equal C. So this is what we need to return to. If it is true that plan B is abortion, and it is true that plan B is birth control, how is abortion not birth control? Because that would mean A equals B, B equals C, but A does not equal C. There you go, Mark, if you want to take it to deeply debate places and stay so formal.
Okay, I'm only going to try this one more time, and then
Great.
Since you guys have the God mute button and you just mute me and not allow me to talk, it's impossible to get through to you guys. Now, number one,
okay,
you just said it yourself. The idea of debate is to be open. So to be open, in order to listen, you have to stop moving your mouth and open your ears. Yeah, you did say that. You actually did. Go back and listen to your own recording. Okay, I may have paraphrased it and changed it.
Can I have $500 if I never said that?
Can you have $500 if you never said?
Yeah, Mark, will you give me $500 if I never said the point of debate is to be open? Because I don't believe that. The point of debate is to present your side in opposition to your opponent's side.
One guy railroad the other guy?
No, the point of debate.
You have no clue what the definition is?
Hey, Mark.
The definition of debate is to come with your
what is the definition of debate?
And that's it.
Yeah,
I just told you.
You just said, excuse me, that was literally, Mark, a different definition than you gave a moment ago. You said the point of debate is to be open. The actual point of debate, Mark, the point of actual, Mark, no, I didn't. Mark, the actual point of debate, like you said, is, Jesus Christ.
Trying to do is get your fucking point across.
Mark, is this what you think debating is? So what are you doing?
Dumbass dick suck.
I'm sorry, I muted you halfway through your queer slur attempts. I'm glad you're showing you are the right-wing libertarian. You're like, that's not what libertarian is. We're about people and respect for people. And now you're saying you're crashing out. You're about to call it, what was the word before, dick sucking? I don't know. That doesn't sound very respectful toward people. Anyway, Mark, you'll have a whole week to cool down. Mark has just rage quit. Mark is a coward. The point of debate is not to come with an open mind. You should be open about your sources. You should be open about a lot of things. You should not fear challenge. The point of debate is for the audience. I'm going to present my side. You're going to present your side. And the audience is going to see if they feel compelled to change their mind or more affirmed in their position or whatever. I don't think Mark will have a single source when we call him next Sunday.
I don't think Mark's going to answer when you call him next Sunday.
I agree. I think that Mark is a pathetic thinker, honestly. Like, legitimately screaming what cocksucking whatevers we are. Mark, you are an unimpressive thinker. And it's always funny, like, legitimately, what percentage of actual libertarians aren't cishet white men and their wives? And even the wives aren't mostly libertarians, but when it's a woman, it's like women who were beaten into submission by their libertarian husbands. There are very few independent thinker libertarian women. There are a few, but it's not many. And because it is literally in America, it's I got mine. And to say that libertarianism is we the people and capitalist is bullshit. It's in the name. Capitalism serves capital, aka money. Capitalism is moneyism. So what would peopleism be called? Something that serves the people. What's another word for that? The social good? So what is there some kind of social goodism out there? Or maybe the community? Is there some sort of communityism out there? The giveaway is in the fucking name. Capitalism prioritizes capital and property over people. The more you own, the more capital you possess, And the more property you possess, the more power you have than a person who works just as hard, if not harder than you, if they have less capital and less property. That is the core component of capitalism. And the question, if he'd ever let me get to it, about libertarianism that I had for him is, what is the solution for the future? Because they don't have one. Libertarianism and conservatism and MAGA do not have a solution for the future. We are automating every job away. That computer science guy, his job is gone very soon. Pretending he actually works in computer science like he said he did. His job is going away so soon. The complexity of the applications I have been building recently with zero coding background, not zero, but very little. It's basically zero. If anything, I learned bad code, is the stuff that a couple of years ago, I was asking software engineers if they could make it for me, and we were getting quotes in the $5,000 to $10,000 range for each app, each individual app, and months of lead time. I have built multiple months to develop and tens of thousands of dollars of things that I just couldn't have afforded otherwise. I have built multiple in a week. The calendar app that we use behind the scenes to keep everybody sorted legitimately was going to take so long, and I wouldn't have had that personal control where I can go, ooh, I can just see that actually this little thing needs tweaking, and I can have that fixed in fucking under 2 minutes. Software engineers, computer science people, the number of people who will still have jobs in the next couple of years is going to go down to a tiny amount. And let's say it's 10%, there will not be the 90% of people, because it'd be like, oh, you know, we get rid of 100, you take 100% of the software people and we upgrade it and we get rid of their job. Only 10% will be left, and they'll be left with good, high-paying jobs. The other 90%, we do not have jobs for them, especially because while that 90% is leaving, other jobs are doing that too. Innovation has never come for every field at the same time, all at once, the way it is coming right now. It's fucking crazy that these people want to still defend libertarian. This is why I said at the beginning, and I'm happy to debate this. We have no choice but socialism. And rich people, I'm not saying this is a threat. I'm saying this is a prediction for the future. If you don't get on board, they're going to kill you. Again, not as a threat, but if literally what you're doing as rich people are collecting the resources and concentrating, thus that afterwards we live in a dystopian future where the rich people are rich and fine and they're okay, and they're a small group and everybody else is Mad Maxing, because that's the goal. That's the fucking like line we are on right now, where there will be jobs for nobody. So it'll be whoever has the resources after, who were able to build the robots and shit. The poor will suffer and die from poverty and all that stuff, and the rich will be murdered. Socialism, when you are innovating at this level and replacing humanity, the actual replacement theory we should be talking about is being done by Elon Musk. He is the one actually replacing us, not Jews, not brown people, with his future of robotics, as is Anthropic, as is OpenAI, as is Grok, which is also Elon Musk. All of that shit is the actual replacement theory. We have no choice but socialism, or we're going to die and they're going to die. The poor are going to die, the working class are going to die, and the rich are going to die. Socialism is the only future we possibly have out of this, where we're not all fucking dead. All right. You want the next one? I can be good.
Yeah, sure.
I just felt like Mark was funnier you were more right, and you were going at him harder with facts. And I was enjoying playing with my food a little bit. Way more with a person like that. I don't feel like beating them on, which you did for the record. You beat him on the intellectual argument. You fully beat him on the actual debate. I like fully just putting their hypocrisy in their face. Not even necessarily the topic of the debate. You're literally saying, let's not insult. And your next sentence was an insult. You're saying you have the evidence and you're not presenting any. You're complaining about the quality of the evidence and saying we don't examine the evidence when you can't even show you comprehend the evidence that is being given to you, that you've ever considered it. And therefore, whenever people come to us with studies that are bad, unless it's obscure, we've generally heard of it and we'll tell them what was wrong with that study. like so many of the trans studies, what was flawed with we talked to 17 teenagers and we considered fully transitioning, meaning they tried changing their hair for a week. Like, we're prepared on those or able to look them up and talk about what happened and just the meltdown there. It was interesting. Forrest and I are similarly different. Forrest just wants to have a question about all the dumb things the person believes, and I like getting into the why they believe that.
You know me, I just like getting back to the debate as quickly as possible.
Yeah. What was his
I'm a debate bro. Something stupid. Oh, they shouldn't be using abortion as birth control. They should be using contraception. They are. Next question.
It's weird. I think he would come on and say, I didn't say shouldn't. I said isn't. But again, he did an A equals B and a B equals C. And when I pointed that out and I asked him to explain it, his next thing was, and now I am going to melt down. You're a bunch of cocksucking. Like, legitimately, I couldn't have made it simpler. You said abortion is a birth control. He's right about that for
50% of us.
You don't know what I do. I'm a princess. On the queer side of my things, I'm very selfish. But I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to lower people's opinions of me. Okay, here's the thing.
Can they get any lower?
I'm viscerally disgusted by cum. And that is a huge inhibition. It's why, despite being bisexual, I've pretty much been with almost entirely people who don't cum. Because I find my own cum disgusting. Anyway,
Sounds
this is way too much information. No, it's disgusting. It's weird. The number of straight guys I know who have tasted their own, and I'm literally like, what the fuck?
Okay, I haven't gone that far.
That's fucking crazy. Anyway, do you want to pick?
I mean, 9 and 10 seem more interesting to me, but
whichever one you want, man. Or do you like the one that's
here? I'll do. Coming up is Mark from Colorado. Mark from Colorado, who vague posting to the call-in screeners. Mark, how are you doing? How old are you?
Doing okay. How are you? I think this is. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can hear you. How old are you, Mark?
Okay, I'm 26.
Great. And guys? Mark, old enough.
36.
Mark, there are between both my chat and Jimmy's chat, there are very close to 2,500 people watching this show right now. Should they refer to you as he, she, they, or something else in the comments?
I don't care.
Great. So if you don't care, you will answer the question.
They can call me whatever they want.
I don't want them to call whatever they want, whatever you want.
In a legitimate social situation, if people were referring to you as a she, Mark, would you feel like they were trying to insult you or get a rise out of you?
Depends on who they are and what the context is. I don't know why anyone would be referring to me like that. But
well, you said Mark, that they can call you whatever they want, so that's why.
Just clear it up then, Mark. Generally, if you're hearing yourself spoken about in the third person, you would expect and your preference would be that they would refer to you as blank.
Well, anonymous people on the internet are different than my social circles. So,
Mark, we really want to get to your debate. Could you just answer? Could you just answer honestly? You're in our house. Please take off your shoes. And which one is your preferred one? So we can get. I don't want to do another 10 minutes on figuring out whether or not you even understand the pronoun or trans issue. You want to talk about murder. So let's get there. Your pronoun that they should refer to you is blank.
Well, now I almost want to go to the trans issue because it seems like it's a big deal for you guys.
We will do the trans issue as soon as you answer whether or not what your pronoun. You know that you have a preferred one. You're not acting in good faith. We want to know that you're going to be here in good faith. Let's not pretend. Your preferred is.
All right, he, him.
Thank you, Jesus.
He, him.
Excellent. Now, do you actually want to go to the trans issue, or do you want to talk about because you called in on who commits the most murder?
Let's do the trans issue because I feel like that one's simpler to get through, honestly.
Which trans study have you actually consumed to show that we know you have a baseline of understanding of where the theory of trans identity comes from in science?
Well, I guess I would begin by asking you a clarifying question, and it would be that are human beings made up of different sexes?
I find the wording of the question strange. There are different sexes. But again, Mark, I'm going to ask you my question, which you've skipped. How much science have you consumed regarding trans identity?
A decent amount, but I don't think it needs to.
Could you please name one study that you have consumed so we can know your baseline of understanding?
I don't know it off the top of my head. I don't know why we.
I don't think it exists, Mark.
Credentialism. We can.
Great. Would you explain to me in a way that I would agree represents my side why we believe gender and sex are separate?
You do believe that gender and sex are separate?
I accept the scientific consensus by relative scientists actually related to the field that gender and actually, by the way, so do you, Mark.
I'm just curious. So you think that gender and sex are separate?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I would go a step further, and it's not that I think they are. I know that they are.
Yeah, I accept is the words I used earlier. I accept that they are because I understand the science about it.
Okay. Is there any meaningful differences between different sexes?
Are you going to ever be answering my questions? Because I asked you a question, and so far, every time I ask you a question, you go, instead, here's my question to you. So I've answered your question so far. What was your question? Can you summarize to me, in a way that I would agree represents my side, why we say sex and gender are separate things?
No, I can't.
Then you aren't familiar enough.
I'm not sure.
Mark, then you aren't familiar enough to have this debate, which is why I think we should do the murder one. Because any debate that a person is calling in to do, if they genuinely are going to say, I'm right and you're wrong, which is your position, right, Mark, that we're wrong about transgender identities? Is that not your position?
Uh-huh.
Then there is no way for you to make that assertion. Despite the fact that you're using the word wrong, it's a positive assertion. You're saying we're wrong. Therefore, you have to be able to demonstrate you understand our position and why we are wrong about it. If you can't, then you can't make that assertion, which is why I am going to decline debating a person who doesn't know why we're wrong because they can't articulate our position, and say, no, we will debate with people who can, and return you back, because Jovan wants to debate with you on the topic you told the screener, which is you're curious on who commits the most murder. Good? Everybody good?
May I try to answer your question about just sex and gender?
No, I'd really rather go to you've already shown you don't know. You don't know our position to be able to tell us why we're wrong.
Sex is a biological difference that living creatures have, but it doesn't really matter in terms of humans' behavior. Gender
incorrect.
Is a socially 100%. Constructed identity.
100% incorrect. 100% incorrect. In fact, this goes to show that you don't know. For example, because you just said has nothing to do with incorrect. Sex and gender are connected to each other. They're just not the same thing, and they're not dependent. There is a reason why most males identify as men and most females identify as women. It just isn't solid in a binary like that. So no, Mark, we're not going to have this debate because not only did you show you don't know our position, you actually gave us a position that we would disagree with also. So Mark, we're skipping the trans thing as much as you want to do it. You want to talk to Jovan about who commits the most murder. Please proceed.
All right, fine. I would love to continue the trans conversation, but we can go to crime. And I guess part of it is interrelated. Why do men commit so much more crime?
Is that a serious question?
Yeah. Why do men commit so
because men hold a monopoly on violence. Globally? Men hold a monopoly on violence? Yeah.
Okay, what exactly does that mean?
Well, so what it means is that men hold overwhelming dominance in the systems, and they overwhelmingly are in control of structures and government and damn near everything. So they hold that a monopoly over violence against women.
Okay.
Both on an interpersonal and institutional level.
Then, and maybe you don't agree with this, but then why do poor people commit more violent crime?
Because there are more stressors. Because when you are under more stress, you're more likely to commit violent acts.
Also,
poverty is a stressor.
I would also add that the less money you have, the less stuff you are doing outside. Therefore, you're probably consuming more media and stuff. And men in this society are raised glorifying using violence as problem solvers. So that's going to disproportionately affect. It's why people in poverty and why men in general. Just a little addition. Not to what Jovan said. We literally are raised glorifying solving problems. Men are raised to glorify solving problems with violence. Rich men send poor people to go do their violence for them. See the existing wars.
Okay, well then it seems sort of confused because your initial point was that it's people in power, because of their power, just have the ability to commit more crime. But then you sort of seem to be saying that people who don't have power are forced
hold
to
on.
commit
Wait,
crime.
No. That's a gross mischaracterization of what we said. What we said is because of men's position in the hierarchy of patriarchy, they hold a monopoly on violence. That's not saying rich people do more crime.
Oh, but I will say rich people do more crime, way more crime. We just don't consider because you're rich, because they're rich. We don't consider them crimes. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Barack Obama are mass murderers. They have committed more murder than any individual serial killer ever. Way more murder. But they are rich and they are part of the elite class, and they sent poor people to go commit those murders for them, or in some case robots. All fucking murders. We just don't consider rich people violence crime.
Yeah, I'd also say that the actual standard crimes rich people do, we just don't track them in the same way as we track like low income crime. I mean, it's $50 billion a year is stolen from workers in wage theft, right? But because they're stolen by corporations, typically we don't count that as crimes because it's not individuals, because corporations can't be charged in the same way.
Luigi Mangione killed a murderer. If we actually assessed it, that's what he did. You can say that we don't believe in vigilante violence and therefore it's wrong. I sympathize with that position, but literally the United Healthcare guy rose to fame because he was the one who piloted an AI system that increased denials. And the reason why they do it is they know that there's some percentage of people who will die because they don't know that they have, or get sick or not get better. They don't have the ability. They don't know they have the ability to challenge it and try and escalate it further and try to find that care. Literally, rich people murder, rich people violence isn't considered violence and isn't considered criminal.
Okay, I guess this could turn into a broader historical debate now. I'm trying to use this as an example than less of talking about this instance specifically, but like when certain powers in World War II went to fight the Nazis, they were committing murder? Like,
yes.
They were acting as violent murderers?
Sometimes, yeah. Like when they dropped those atomic bombs, for sure.
Yeah, the dropping of atomic bombs were 100% murder, yeah.
I said they didn't drop any bombs on the Nazis, any atomic bombs.
We'll say the genocidal fascists.
Well, I guess it seems interesting to compare like warfare with just like thugs who murder people and sort of say,
was there indiscriminate bombing that was not actually, because it didn't serve, because we couldn't make money off of it during World War II? Could you say that there was indiscriminate bombing that should have been done more carefully and that more civilians died than should have because we decided to rush and not use our resources? Or would you say, or how about this, Mark?
I would agree.
Mark, hey Mark, was joining World War II a positive moral thing that we did?
Well, I would argue that you're talking about two different things when it's
no, Mark, but just answer. Stop trying to get ahead. Was it a positive moral thing that we did it?
I would say no, but that's.
Are you on the Nazi side?
Can we just hold on? Can we just get your thesis statement, Mark? Because I don't.
Yeah.
don't know what overall point you're trying to make with the questions you're asking.
Well, I'm leading up to then. You've made a lot of points about violence is so tied with people in power and systems in power, yet there seems to be somewhat of an imbalance between it's actually the powerful who are committing the crimes as opposed to the powerful sort of force.
Mark, it's because you don't believe. It's
non-powerful
because
to
you don't
commit
believe that
crime.
the violence. No, it's because you don't believe that the violence committed by people in power is actual violence.
Literally, we've
I didn't say that.
established, courts
I
have
didn't say that.
established that every president has committed war crimes, but we don't have a method
I agree.
to punish them.
I agree with that.
Mark,
I agree.
I didn't
would
say you
totally
said
agree
it.
with that.
I did, Mark, just really quickly. I didn't say that you said that. I'm interpreting that based on the current way this call has gone, right? The people in power commit way more acts of violence than people who are serving under them. It's just those acts of violence aren't considered violence by pretty much anybody, right? When
I agree with that.
So then I don't know what point you're making then.
Well, because I think
if you agree with that, I don't know what point you're making.
I think acts of violence can be interpreted slightly differently from criminality. Like again, to
yes,
sort of
because the people in
if
power
you
decide
shoot
what
and
is or
kill
is not crimes. The people in power decide what is and is not a crime. So yeah, it makes sense that the people in power can.
That I think we can. Let me do a simple thing that I think we can agree with. If someone breaks into your house and tries to slaughter your family and you kill them, that's an act of violence, but it's not a crime, right?
Would depend.
You are acting in a violent manner, but you're not doing anything that I think anybody reasonable would consider criminal. You're defending yourself, but you're doing
whether
it
somebody
violently.
whether somebody reasonably considers it criminal and whether it's legal in like the law books is two different things, right?
Sure, but I don't think anybody. I've never met anybody who would remotely consider that if someone.
Well, hold on, Mark. I don't believe that it's a crime, for instance, the Trump administration to roll back SNAP benefits, but it's definitely an act of violence. And I think removing food from the mouths of children should be a crime, right? So they're able to commit mass acts of violence without it being criminal. So just saying because more people are engaging in crime who are poor doesn't actually equate to the different dynamics at play here.
Okay, well then I guess let me clarify some of my definitions. I get what you're saying, that quote unquote crime is purely about what the institutions say. At a point, slavery wasn't a quote unquote crime because it was legal. I think when I'm using the word crime, and for the sake of this conversation, I'm not simply talking about what the current establishment considers okay or not okay. I'm more speaking
how are you defining
a
crime?
Moral standpoint. A moral.
Well, then that's
doing
not
something wrong.
Okay, well, but hold on. But if we're gonna just talk about who does things wrong more, it's overwhelmingly the people in power. It's not even close. It's not even comparable.
I don't disagree with that statement.
Then I don't know what you're.
I think I can put an easy bow on this. How many people were killed in 2024 in America, murdered?
Who were murderers or who were murdered?
Murdered. How many people were murdered? How many homicides in 2024? Do you know? It's okay if you don't. It's an obscure stat.
10,000, 15,000?
20,000. 20,000 people in 2024.
20,000?
How many civilians were killed in 2024 in Gaza?
Like 30,000?
64,000. 3 times as many. And that's a much smaller area with a much smaller population. Correct. The people in power commit the most crimes and do the most murders.
Okay, and those
that's
are
why I'm just confused on what your position is.
It's morally incorrect, right?
They're literally war crimes.
Yeah, I'm not disputing. You're using the word crime because it's not about what any institution says or doesn't say. We can go back
to the word you started with, violence. Who commits the most violence? The rich, the people with the power, the property protectors.
I think the first word I used was crime, and what I'm now trying to say is I think you can commit violence without committing a crime.
Your first word was violence.
Okay, well then I misspoke. Do you
it might
agree
have been
that
murder.
You can commit violence without committing a crime?
It could have been murder.
Do you think you can commit a violent act without it being...
Mark, I'm really trying to understand here what your overall point is. Can you give like a simple syllogism so that we know what your stance is and what you want to argue with us about? Is it that you think that poor people commit violence more than rich people?
No, I guess I'm confused on what your statements concerning who's committing crimes and why they are. I mean, why wouldn't women commit more crimes?
But you don't want to talk about crime, because when we start talking about crime, you go, well, I don't mean what's legally crime. I mean what's moral. So you don't actually want to talk about crime. You want to talk about who does the most immoral things. Mark, are you trying to sit up? Are you trying to sit up here and say because women have abortions, they commit the most murder? Is that what this is all leading to?
No. What? No. What are you talking about?
Really felt like that's what this is leading to.
No. What I'm trying to say is I feel like your argument is getting a little circular because you're talking about crime, but then you're saying that the establishment sort of decides what is and isn't crime, so they can just get away with things because they deem their violence as not criminal. And I understand that, and that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get at why do different... I agree with your statement that, yes, governments and institutions cause all sorts of crime and violence. Sure. I'm talking about the average civilian population in, say, the United States, because that's where I live. That's what the statistics I know the best. Why does the average man commit more violence than the average woman? If
they're more capable of violence.
Perpetrated by...
They're more capable of violence. They're raised to glorify violence, and women are more raised with the threat of violence done to them.
So it's all cultural and ideological. It's
Mostly.
All like this cultural system that has infected the minds of men and women.
Men overwhelmingly commit the violence. They're authorized to use the violence, and they control the violence. Overwhelmingly.
Okay, well then I guess let's make this conversation racial a little bit. Like, are black men authorized to use violence? Like,
black men don't commit the most violence in the country, so.
Pardon?
Black men don't commit the most violence, so I don't know what question you're asking.
Well, they commit an extremely high proportion compared to their population size.
No, they're arrested at a higher rate. That's not convictions. It's arrest rates.
Do you think, okay, let's forget race for a moment. Do you think poor people commit more crime than middle-class people?
It depends on the type of crime you're talking about. Typically, well, do poor people commit murder more than rich people? No, I think murder is pretty even across the board.
No, middle-class people. Middle-class.
Yeah, again, murder tends to be even across the board.
I don't even agree with Jovan. I think rich people are way more responsible for murder. If you're only talking about that which people are convicted and arrested for and would meet the lawful definition of murder, sure. But the most violent people are the rich people, and they are generally controlling poor people and are responsible for poor people killing each other. So Donald Trump, whatever black man position you're trying to pull up here, Mike, Donald Trump has murdered way more people than all of the black men in America combined.
Okay, I agree with you. Let's forget rich people.
Great.
The rich people are savage and violent, and they're waging these wars. Let's forget the top 10%. Let's compare middle-class people to poor people. I'm not talking about rich people.
Middle-class people are complicit.
I would just argue that middle-class people don't have as many opportunities.
Wait, so just yes or no? Do middle-class people commit murder at the same rate as poor people, or do poor people?
Because poor. Oh my God, Mark. Part of crime is poverty plus proximity. So when you have a large group of people who are largely impoverished in high proximity to each other because of a litany of reasons, that you are going to see more violence come out of that area than you are of areas where there are people who do not have the stressors of poverty, and people who are not as high a concentration area. That's just like.
So that was a long-winded way of saying that, yes, poor populations on average commit more murder than middle-class populations.
It was an explanation of the why, Mark.
Okay, but I didn't ask why. I just asked what.
I know you didn't because you're leading.
Right?
I know you didn't because what you're trying to do is lead the conversation somewhere. You won't tell us where. You like keep refusing to tell us what your overall point is because you're trying to lead the conversation somewhere. So I'm preempting the lead by just preloading the why.
Okay, so I know why now. So can we go back to what? Is it true that poor people are more likely to commit more murder than middle-class people?
Because
it sounded like your why is so yes.
Because
right?
We're not moving anywhere forward, Mark, until you give us a syllogism for your point. I'm just not going to move forward. Like, this is just so bad faith. No, I don't want to hear what you're trying. I don't want to. Mark, I did answer it, and I expanded on the why. Until you tell us what you're. No, Mark. Literally, the only thing I want to hear from you is you actually telling us what your overall point is. You keep dodging this question.
My point is to ask questions about criminality in the average population, who's committing it, and why, then why they're committing it.
Mark.
That's
so then you get upset when I explain the why.
Because can we talk about why something's happening if we don't even know what's happening?
No, because you don't actually care about the why. Because when I explain the why, you get upset and you're like, well, I didn't actually want to know the why.
Mark, we've been doing this a while. We know when somebody's trying to Charlie Kirk us for a very isolated question, answer, response.
I just want, Mark, I just want a P1, P2 conclusion from you. I just want a P1, P2 conclusion. That's all I want. P1, P2 conclusion.
Can I say this? How can we talk about why something's happening if we don't even know what's happening?
He already answered what? He already answered what? He just didn't do it the way you're demanding because we know how to anticipate what these silly games are. So he's already answered what? He didn't answer the way you like it. You've already interpreted it. But your problem is if you interpret it and just say that's what he said, whatever clip or thing you're trying to do doesn't run as smoothly because you're trying to play a word game. So do as Jovan has asked and present your syllogism.
My point is you seem to have, and you seem to have with your why statement confirmed that poor people commit more murder than middle class.
So then you can move on. So now move on as though that.
Wait, let me finish.
Stop. No,
that seems to contradict with your earlier point that black people don't commit more murder.
No, you didn't listen to what I said at all. And it's clear you're not listening. You are waiting to respond. If the only thing I want to hear from you is P1, P2 conclusion, or we are moving on. I'm just letting you know.
I don't know what P1, P2 conclusion means.
Premise 1, premise 2, conclusion. If blank, then blank, in conclusion, blank. Basic argument structure.
Okay, you want me to... If poor people commit more crime than middle class people, and black people are poorer on average, then they're committing more crime. You denied that, but then you also seem to affirm
incorrect. Incorrect, because the only stats you have on this are arrest records.
Well, then I'm not talking
about
stats.
You don't have conviction rates.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. You're about to get muted, Mark. You're about to get muted. If I'm going to talk about who's committing the most crime between racial groups, because remember, there's more poor white people in the country than there are poor black people. So the claim you're making is not that black people commit more crime, it's that there's a disproportionate number of crime being done by them. The only way to know this is to know conviction rates. We need to see what the conviction rate is of black people. Stop, Mark. Stop. I don't know why you're talking. I don't know why you think you have the ability to speak right now. You don't. So don't speak again, or I will just resort to muting you. So again, there are more white people than there are black people. So if you want to just talk overall arrest records, because that's all you have here, I know you want a 1350 this bullshit. It's not going to work here.
I have literally
even that
never
number is not true. Mark. When you talk about crime, The only way to know who's committing the most crime between racial groups is to look at the conviction rates. So, Mark, what are the conviction rates between black and white people when it comes to murder?
Rates?
Mark?
No, wait, actually,
no, that
real quick,
that would be stupid as fuck, Mark.
And I do want to engage that. Also, core to what you've been doing here, Mark, would be that we would have to concede that poverty is the sole driver of murders. We would have to say that poverty and murder are the only things linked to each other. In fact, not only did Jovan not claim that, he gave you one other. He gave you poverty and proximity. And then there are others: specific systemic inequality, segregation, drug markets,
and do you think
policing.
Do you think
literally they are all things that aren't just poverty, and you're trying to make your syllogism, as you said, poor people commit more murders, black people are more likely to be poor, therefore black people commit more murders. And there are many more aspects to it. So even if you could make a per capita point position, at the end of the day, Mark, you're just here to make some kind of racist point instead of addressing any of those, and you are trying to reduce. We know why you're trying to do it, Mark. Let's be honest. You're a race realist trying to call in and go, well, since you're saying it is just poverty is what makes a person murder more, there's more white people in poverty than there are black people, but more black people have murdered. So isn't there something about black people that makes them more likely to murder? Something inherent to them? Because you said it was just poverty otherwise. And you want to skip that there are literally at least a dozen other categories. So even if you could make the per capita argument, you have to tie into just the poverty thing, because let's just be so honest, Mark, you think black people are more likely to murder than white people because there's something about them that makes them want to do it. Can you just admit it? Can you just admit that that's what your position is? We've done this before. We're 30 minutes in and you won't just admit that you think black people like murdering more than white people.
Personally, I'm not willing to move forward if Mark can't provide the conviction rates.
I don't know. I have literally never once mentioned conviction rates. I don't know why you keep talking about.
Are we talking, Mark? Shut the fuck up. Shut up. No, shut the fuck up, Jimmy. I'm going to ask you because Mark can't answer a question in good faith. Is murder a crime, Jimmy?
Yes.
How do you know if someone's committed a crime?
Our best measure would be if they're convicted of that crime.
Oh, so the only way to know what percentage of a group of people have committed a crime would be looking at conviction rates, right, Jimmy?
Correct.
Great. Just wanted to make sure. Hey, Mark, what's the fucking conviction rates?
I don't know why you're talking about conviction rates. I never once mentioned conviction rates.
Okay, we'll run it back. Nope, shut up. We'll run it back. Hey, Jimmy, is murder a crime?
Yes.
Hey, Jimmy, what's the only way you can know if somebody has committed the crime of murder?
If they're convicted.
Hey, Mark, what's the conviction rates?
I don't know.
No.
Then I don't know why we're having this conversation, Mark. You don't know any of the shit you're calling to talk about. So can you prove,
it took
Mark?
30 minutes to find out you're as prepared for the murder discussion as you were the trans.
Literally. Mark, can you prove to me that black people commit more murder than white people?
Are you talking about per capita or overall?
You made the claim, Mark.
Well, what are you asking me? Per capita or overall?
You made the claim, whatever way you made the claim.
Well, per capita, based on what you have said of things like systemic oppression, over policing, other systemic factors.
I didn't give you a percentage. I didn't give you a percentage. I gave you none of that. I'm asking you a question. I don't know why when I ask you a question. I don't know why when I asked you a question. Hold on, Jim, because obviously I'm the authority on this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know why when I ask you a question, I think it has something to do with brown skin. But Mark, I don't know why when I asked you a question, you went to, well, you told me this and you told me this. It doesn't matter what I told you. You've asserted the claim. So I'm asking you to back up the claim. Can you do that or no?
What claim are you talking about?
Goodbye, Mark.
I've made multiple claims. Which one are you talking about?
I have a last question for Mark. Mark.
There's no way.
Mark, you believe that black people disproportionately commit more murders and violent crime than white people. Be fully honest and give just your answer for why do you believe they do that?
Because they have higher rates of poverty and are more likely to face systemic barriers and systemic oppression and over-policing and centuries and centuries of segregation and racial profiling, amongst other things.
Why would you not start with, my assertion is this? Literally, we just spent 33 minutes for the thing you should have opened with.
Well, but I was trying to get to this, and you guys started talking about all sorts
Why
of
didn't
other
you,
things.
literally, you should have started with it.
You know what would be a way to get to that, Jimmy?
God,
by
what a
just
fucking
saying
waste of
it.
time.
That's crazy.
Legitimately, why was it not your first thing? I'm going to do this questions thing. I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to be like, and I'm going to see if I can, oh, see, I tricked you into saying you said poverty, therefore black people. Like, literally, Mark, you went around not just your elbow to get to your foot. You went around your elbow, took it on a walk down the fucking street, stopped by to see the turtles at the river, fed some fucking ducks some bread, and then got to your foot. Jesus fucking Christ, Mark. Call next time with your assertion at the beginning and we'll investigate it.
But again, it's not even an accurate claim to say that black people commit the most crime. They're arrested the most. We have the highest arrest rates. You know what else we have? Is the highest rates of fucking what's the word I'm looking for? When they let us go. Fucking
exonerations.
Exonerations. Hey, we're the highest exoneration rate too.
Mark, let's say you're right, and per capita, let's say per capita, black people disproportionately commit more murders. What is the solution?
Oh, wait. I just want to say, do you not think I'm right based on systemic oppression and
doesn't matter?
Like,
answer my question.
That's true?
Answer my question. What do you believe the solution is?
If you don't even think that it's true, then I don't know how I can believe anything.
What do you believe the solution? Mark, we've already talked about the nuances of our side and why this had to come up because of your failure to communicate your point in the first place. I don't think poor black people. Mark, I don't think poor black people. Mark, I don't think poor black people are more likely to commit murders than rich white people because rich white people keep doing fucking genocides. So there's already been all this nuance. We couldn't investigate your fucking claim from the onset because you didn't present it and you literally snanked us all around. So the only thing I'm interested in is, let's say your position was correct and you even got the wording and the nuance correct, which you didn't because you don't know about conviction rate and you don't know about exoneration rate. But let's just give it to you. What would you say is the solution?
Well, for starters, why are men more likely to be exonerated than women?
Okay, goodbye. That's not your answer is not a question. So goodbye. Fucking Jesus Christ. What would be the solution? Why are men more likely to be exonerated than women? Jesus fucking Christ. How would that possibly be an answer to that question? You fucking idiot. Start with your actual position because we don't even know. Once he actually gave his position, there's like, okay, now that we have your position and you're sitting here using all these dog whistles that I'm expecting from a person who's a Klansperson but trying to get laid on Tinder by pretending to be a centrist, you used all the dog whistles to, if that actually is your position, there's probably something where your wording sucks, but we have something we should actually be talking about here, and there may be several things we agree on. Instead, you went all of the Klan dog whistles to fucking get there. You're feeding fucking ducks along the way, and then at the end, when said, we'll just give it to you. What's your solution? Why are men more likely to be exonerated than women? Fucking Christ.
Nonsensical as fuck.
Also, is that even true? Is that just a stat he made up?
I mean, I would just assume it's true because more men are arrested. He didn't say per capita. He just said overall. I would assume. Yeah, I mean, at a rate. I guess I'm going per capita. Who are more likely to be exonerated, men or women? Because when you were saying that black men are more likely to be exonerated, you're talking about per capita. Yes. I think it's physical numbers. The per capita is so high that the physical number, the individual number, I believe, is also higher than the number of individuals amongst white people. That was 90% of all exonerations are men. So
yeah, but what is it per capita? Be an interesting thing. We do have a few more calls, and as I said, we're gonna have a fucking packed to the wall options for calls for the last hour of the show because the people are always too afraid to call at the beginning.
This is why I wish there was a way to just throw all of those calls onto the other number.
Send them straight to the next show. Yeah.
Yeah. Part of me wonders if it would just be easier to have one number, but then it's like,
well, we could start the other show connected to this one on Call In Studio and let the next show start with the queue at the end, while having others start to queue up without a connected call right off the bat for the host. Kind of, it's probably possible. I'd probably want to think about it more before putting it in. I meant on the exam. Anyway, you can pick the next one.
Oh yeah, sure. Garrett from California. Garrett, you're on with Jimmy and Jovan. How old are you, Garrett?
I'm 38.
All right, beautiful. Garrett, you want to ask us what we think about the assassination, whether it would be good if the assassination attempt recently succeeded? I don't Fed post on Maine, so I don't necessarily know how to answer that question.
I apologize. I wasn't trying to make it seem like a weird question. I was just asking of I have a total fear. I go by comic book logic. If something happens to this president right now, or at any time he gets impeached, he gets murdered, anything, I look at Stephen Miller, I look at J.D. Vance, Erica Kirk, who's banned from Romania. It feels like there's going to be something worse happening. Do you honestly think that
JD Vance doesn't have the listen, there's a reason why they went so hard in the Trump camp, right? Trump has the charisma to lead sycophants. JD Vance doesn't. People do not give a shit about JD Vance.
Tucker
Most
is
of
the
them
person who could
don't even like him because he's married to a brown woman.
That's true too.
Right? It is very, and like Jimmy
Very
said,
true.
it's actually becoming increasingly clear that Tucker might put in a bid. He's trying to do damage control really hard. I think the reason they like having Trump as their figurehead is they can tell Trump anything and he'll just believe it and do what they're saying. All they have to do is say something inflammatory. Would I have been happy if the assassination attempt succeeded? I wouldn't have given a shit, right? I would have felt the same way I felt about Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. I don't give a fuck. I don't like the guy, so I don't care that he's dead.
Yeah, I would have sympathized with the collective feeling of relief that many people would have expressed. However, I would immediately be extremely anxious about 6 months to the midterms. I want cholesterol to do the job. I'm not looking for it to be something they can rally around. Your assertion that like as presidents or as a leader would be worse. There is a potential immediate backlash that on his martyrdom that would be terrible. I would be more worried about violence breaking out in the streets here than I would be the long-term ramifications. Truly, Donald Trump has to have a successor. And right now, because that Donald Trump's popularity is waning, people are leaving MAGA and they're starting to finally wake up to what an idiot he is. The successor for Trump will actually have to be an anti-Trump figure. That's why Tucker Carlson is the one who has the potential to pick MAGA up and continue onward, because he can basically go, no, look, I agree with you guys. It was good when it started, but something else happened. What were we doing? What is this? What are we doing? He's going to be able to, the successor will actually need to be anti-Trump, because it'll need to be, hey, all of you guys who are super pissed and you're not getting the solutions, even though we're halfway through his second term, you should be super pissed. He's actually part of the problem. He probably is that pedophile. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. After the midterms, I wouldn't give a shit if anybody, I wouldn't care about him. The man is responsible for so many deaths that I would not lament the death of a murderer. I just can't. Or a pedophile. The things I think that should happen to pedophiles are not consistent with my humanism.
I get what you guys are saying. I was just being a little like paranoid, because I don't know who would be like the person that'll be like next under it, because we still have till 2028 until, or no, we have till what, 2028 until the next one.
I mean, Miller wants it to be Vance. Miller wants it to be Vance. I don't know that it will be. I don't think he has the staying power.
Right. Nobody likes Miller.
Yeah, I don't trust Miller. So that's why I'm like, I don't, that's what I'm worried about. If there is a successor by 2028, will he be worse than Trump, or will he be the same as, or will he be better? I don't know.
Whether it's Tucker or not, it's going to be a person who runs kind of anti-Trump, still MAGA, and more isolationism. Isolationism, populism, essentially. the brown people, the other countries are our enemies. Stephen Miller won't be allowed in that camp because Stephen Miller wants to invade every brown country and send MAGA kids to go and kill those people. So Stephen Miller won't be welcome, and also has a brown wife too. They both, Vance and Miller, did the worst things they could do for their political aspirations of being president and controlling the presidency, and that was marry brown women. And for the Republicans, are you guys kidding me? So Garrett, you should be concerned, but I don't think your concerns are in the right place.
I understand that. I thank you for listening to what I had to say. I think that was it. I just wanted to understand if I had a right to be concerned. Thank you for.
Cool.
Well, actually, what should I be concerned of?
Tucker Carlson. I legit, I'm sold that's who's running against probably Newsom in 2028. That's my, as of today, evaluating everything going on, that's who I think the threat is, even before MAGA has embraced him. MAGA definitely feels very torn about the Tucker situation, and they don't like when Trump tries to attack him, which is why Trump has stopped attacking him as much. So I'd be keeping an eye on Tucker, and I would be supporting progressive candidates who are talking. The next candidates need to run on Medicare for all and fuck AI in its fucking face. It's coming for your job. That is the great replacement theory, and Elon Musk is the head of as the great replacer. That's what those people need to run on. Unfortunately, they're a bunch of fucking cowards, and they aren't.
Understandable. I actually thank you guys for listening to what I had to say. Thank you both. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me, but thank you guys. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Garrett.
everything. Oh, no worries. You guys have a good day.
I should have done the hot fuzz thing. I do. How would you describe your perfect Sunday? Who you like for next? I gotta pee, by the way.
What, you know what's hilarious? Somebody in my chat is like, I can see that you're loading these questions into AI on your computer. Sure, dog.
You literally said when you did it one of the times, though.
Literally.
When you asked for the Google overview.
Prove it, dog. Yeah, if you want to pee, so I can start the next one.
Yeah.
Let's see. TC from the US. TC, how old are you?
I'm 39.
Great. And what are your pronouns, TC?
He.
Great. Wonderful. All right, TC, you said that you're not MAGA, but you would have voted for Trump. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why specifically?
For a lot of different reasons. What got me into politics, I'm just going to start off with this. Whenever I seen them going after Trump for the documents, and here it was, you had Biden that took classified documents as a senator. But yet, they were going after Trump for that. So that really started getting me into,
so I have to stop you right there, TC. They went after Trump because when they asked Biden if he had documents, Biden said, yes, here they are. You can come get them. When they asked Trump if he had documents, Trump said no and lied about it. That's why.
Yeah, but Biden was a senator. He wasn't even supposed to have access to those documents. As a senator.
Biden's, hold on. Biden took documents when he was vice president.
Okay.
And the documents Biden had weren't classified. The documents, hold on, the documents Biden had weren't classified till after the fact. So again,
the crime Trump took him as a senator, No,
so the crime Trump committed. The crime Trump committed.
Senator, that was wrong.
TC, the crime Trump committed was he lied about having the documents. If he had just said yes, because that's part of the whole thing, is the National Intelligence Agency say, hey, we think you have these documents. They're classified. We need to get them back. And then the person has a chance to give them back. Trump didn't do that. He lied. He said, no, I don't have them.
They knew that he had them. How could he lie about having them when he knew that they knew that he had them? Like he had them. There was no lying about if he had them or not. If the cops have video, TC, if the cops have video of you stealing from Walmart, so they know you took them, and they go to your house and you're like, we'll give you a chance. Can you give them back to us? And you're like, well, I don't have them. You still lied about it, right? Yeah, if they have footage and you took them and you lied about it, yeah.
Okay, great.
You
so
lied,
so Trump still lied
so
about it.
We have
TC, by the way, he's all but admitted he lied about it. He has admitted he kept them, and then when called on it, and he goes, no, it wasn't lying. I declassified them because as president, I can declassify them by just thinking they should be declassified. That was literally his defense, that he used his thoughts to declassify them.
Understood, but I mean, like I said,
so do you agree with that?
My understanding was that Biden took yes, but he
wait, you agree that wait, you agree then that the president can declassify by just a thought. He doesn't have to tell anyone they're declassified. He just has to think that they're declassified. Well, that was his defense.
No, I'm not saying that.
And if you accept that defense for Trump, you have to accept it for Biden and Obama.
But also, just restating, like the bulk of the documents that Biden had were from his time as vice president. His lawyer found and by the way, his lawyer found the documents and then called and said, "Hey, we found these classified documents." Trump didn't do that.
The argument on that, like, like Biden, he voluntarily gave them back over, and Trump was like, no, I can declassify these documents, and he didn't willfully return them back over. But
he also, by the way, he also let security members at Mar-a-Lago,
all of the counts and everything that was going on, to people like me who don't vote, it just looks kind of suspect. You got a man
let me ask you this, TC.
72 years without charges. Black people love him all throughout the whole history, and then he
first of all, no, they did not.
Everybody hates him.
Wait, let me ask you. Wait.
Black people
Jimmy,
did not love Trump until he ran for president.
I want to ask you a question about this. TC, how many documents did Biden have?
I couldn't say, man. In all honesty,
12. It was 12.
So
how many documents did Donald Trump have? Trump had 300.
Sure,
he had over 300. This is such a false equivalence. It's not even funny.
TC, would you say the problem, though, was that Biden, because he was working at that school, he let people without security clearances handle and move those boxes? So just random people would have. That is a big problem. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Biden. That was Trump at Mar-a-Lago, was literally having maintenance people and security people who don't have government security clearances handle those boxes. In fact, the problem is, some of the documents were never recovered. Folders were empty as a result of Donald Trump mishandling those. In fact, a lot of people are tying it back to Russian visits to Mar-a-Lago. It is not unlikely that classified information got into the hands of our enemies because they were not being kept in a secured location and they were being allowed to be handled by who the fuck ever. Some of them are named as co-conspirators on the indictment.
Biden is in charge of, or UPenn or whatever it's called. What about all those documents?
TC, they were in his garage. I made that up. They weren't at this college. They were in his garage at his home. I made that up to see whether or not you would be consistent. When I say Biden did this, oops, sorry, that wasn't Biden, that was actually Trump, to see if you would still say that's a problem and condemnable. By the way, there is an overarching problem. There is an overarching problem. There is an overarching problem that they are bad with, the government in general is really shitty with handling classified documents. They fucking suck at it. Only one person, when it came time to correct those issues, committed crimes to try and keep the documents, lie about the documents, move the documents, bring other conspirators in, knowingly doing it, knowingly lying about it. That is the difference. Biden committed crimes. They had nothing to do with classified documents. Biden is a war criminal, like all of our presidents tend to be. The documents thing was, hey, everybody here did a dumb thing. When a correction was issued, he literally gave full access, let the government come in and check everything and take everything they needed to. Donald Trump lied, and some of the documents still have not been recovered.
Okay.
He's also a pedophile.
No, I disagree with that. I mean, because he has pictures taken with a certain guy,
No, because actually,
no proof. What proof do you?
Would you like to hear it, or are you just going to keep talking over me, TC? Hey, TC, if you're going to say what proof, if you're going to say what proof, shut the fuck up and I'll tell you it, you fucking idiot. What proof? Oh, goes over. I fucking am so tired of this bullshit. What proof? What proof? The number one smoking gun is the fact that he, if he is not a pedophile, should want all of the documents erased. And yet we know that the FBI specifically redacted information related to him, his name, to the point that uses of the word Trump, like in trumpet, and a use of the word they literally redacted the word don't because it forgot the apostrophe. It was Don T. Someone had forgotten an apostrophe, and they thought it was referencing the computer that was set to redact it, thought it was meaning Donald Trump, and so they redacted it. Literally, he could not be acting more guilty. On top of that, victims of Jeffrey Epstein have claimed that he was one of the people, and one of them especially is one of the people that they have gone after other people with and established timelines with, because she specifically has given them extremely accurate information. This was before all of the stuff came out, and it would be, oh, she's just trying to get famous or whatever bullshit you guys want to do. And they have confirmed tons of the other details. She is the one who famously said, he said to her, I'm going to show you how little girls should behave, and that he then beat her up because he bit her on the penis. They have actually been able to confirm several, that was only a single part of a larger timeline. They have been able to confirm lots of things on that timeline otherwise, and there is no motivation for her to lie. In fact, there's a lot of motivation not to. TC, I understand that a person in your position says, if I don't see them fucking the child myself, I'm not going to believe it. But literally, the fact he's gone through such lengths to get him redacted from the Epstein files, half of the Epstein files we still haven't seen, but they said they've completed it and they're moving on. That's specifically even public photos. His face is redacted in photos where he's doing campaign events. So he is making sure that all the references to him in the Epstein file are redacted for some reason, and yet he says they exonerate him. And there are established timelines from people whose we have been able to confirm material facts. Yeah, that's why he's a fucking pedophile. So next time, if you want to say what proof, shut the fuck up when you ask a question and listen to the goddamn fucking proof. Now, TC's rebuttal for how he's going to protect that a person who at minimum is confirmed to be protecting pedophiles, that those things don't add up. He needs to see Donald Trump fuck a little girl. And at which point we should probably go ahead and check his hard drive for how many other people he's watched do that. TC, go ahead.
Yes, sir. You still here?
I sure am. You asked for the proof. I just gave it to you.
No, I'm sorry. I heard a beep. I thought you hung up on me. I was going to say that's pretty rude. Because I have some good points also. I mean, we may not agree on them, but I mean, it is. I didn't
hang up on you. Don't need the preamble. What is your rebuttal? You asked for the evidence that he's a pedophile. I just gave it to you.
No,
nope, not what about. What about won't be the
relationship?
Go ahead. What?
I said Democrats kept in relationship with Epstein after the conviction.
I'm sorry, TC. How is this a rebuttal? I'm sorry, TC. I asked you for a rebuttal of the evidence that I just gave that Donald Trump is a pedophile, and your rebuttal is not that. It's literally a whataboutism.
Said his name is in
let me try, Jimmy. Let me try.
Wait, not yet. TC, what evidence did I just tell you existed? TC, what evidence? TC, what evidence? TC, what evidence did I just tell you existed?
You didn't listen.
There is no evidence.
What evidence did I just tell you existed?
To me. I mean,
what did I tell you? So TC, what did I tell you? Great. It means nothing. TC, I'm not a Democrat. TC, great. It doesn't matter what I said, but what did I say? TC, Democrats are not for socialism. You fucking idiot. No, they are not. Democrats are anti-socialist. Democrats are okay. Great. Tell me what I said. So tell me what I said, TC.
Socialism is the cure.
This is a mute again. That beep is you being muted again. You said you are listening. It just doesn't matter. All I'm asking you to do is prove you were listening. Tell me what evidence I'm not saying agree with it. Tell me what I said was the evidence after you asked for it. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. Tell me what evidence did I tell you? What evidence did I tell you?
evidence that I don't know of.
What did I say? What did I tell you? You said you listened. Tell me what I told you.
No, I didn't say I listened. I said I'm not here to be convinced.
Great, fuck off. You called in to a debate show and you're not going to listen to the points? Actually, fuck off. I hope your feet fall off tonight. That's a weird insult I just made up. But I will not listen to your cries. What? It was that. I hope your feet fall off? What the fuck? Who would you like next? You went to the bathroom while I had to explain to him the evidence that Donald Trump is a pedophile.
I mean, I'd love to talk to the theist now.
The only reason I was considering leaving that one for last is we only have 35 minutes, and that's probably the easier one to move to the next one. But we can do it. We can do it if you like.
I mean, if you want to, actually, wait. Let's, have you met 12 yet? I feel like I had to have.
He told me that despite knowing I was a Christian for years, that I would realize God exists if I would just pray for sleep paralysis to go away.
Oh yeah, no, I was here for that.
Were you?
Yeah.
It was good.
Let's take 13. Let's take 13.
Go for it.
Coming up is Mike from New Jersey. Mike, how old are you?
Hey, what is up? 38.
Great. Mike is 38. And Mike, what are your pronouns so people in chat can refer to you properly?
None. Mike is cool.
No pronouns. So people don't refer to you anyway whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not a fag.
So you must
pronoun.
You heard that?
What did he say? I'm what? So I don't have pronouns?
So there's not the F slur.
Fag. I don't have.
Oh, you're gonna drop slurs, Mike. I actually heard you were. Wait, Mike, I know you from New Jersey. I see your phone number. You literally are on Grindr. I've seen you on there. Yes, you are. You've asked me for feet pics on Grindr. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Mike, you literally said, Mike, you were in my DMs and you said, hey man, how much would I have to pay you to watch you come across my dad's face and let that come crust up to the point where his eyes can't open? And he says, yum, 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 yum. Thank you, daddy. Please, can I have another? What do you mean, Mike? Of course you are. That's literally what you said. Mike, if that is what you said, just say nothing right now. See? Mike, I don't know what you're talking about. You love dick. Mike, last time we talked, you said the thing you can't get enough of is enough dicks in your mouth. Somehow it physically is impossible for enough dicks to line up to get enough in your mouth at once to satiate you. Don't you remember? We had that conversation, Mike. Don't you remember that?
Retract your statement or you're going to be sued for defamation.
Do it, Mike. Sue me. Fucking sue me. Okay. My address is down below. Sue me for defamation, Mike. Go do it.
100%.
Mike, you do realize a lawyer is going to laugh at you because you're not actually identified on this. I can't defame an anonymous caller, you fucking idiot. Let's do it. Sue me, dude.
Okay.
Fucking sue me. Do it.
See.
Do it, Mike.
Mike,
but let's Mike, what am I going to hear from you?
I can't believe Mike is the stupidest person we've forgotten all day.
Hang on, I've just muted again. I just remembered other things that Mike said. Mike said, actually, not just my dad, my grandpa too. And then if you could get pictures of every man in my family and they can't all arrive, but we're going to paste them onto the pictures of boys who are adequately hung. I think that cocks are num, 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 yum, yum, yum. Do you remember when you said that, Mike?
Yeah, all faggots are perverted. So it's cool.
So when am I going to see that lawsuit?
You can see how nasty you are.
Mike, when am I going to see that lawsuit? I came in your dad's face, just so you know, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
When am I going to see that lawsuit?
Yeah, all faggots are disgusting.
Yeah. Mike sent me pictures of his gaping open butthole and was literally like, have you ever seen somebody train their butthole to get this wide? I bet you haven't. Nobody's butthole has ever gotten this wide. When I fart, it sounds like I'm breathing. Mike literally sent me those photos over Twitter. He sent me, and by the way, I could see his heart from there. Like, Mike can open up his butthole so wide, if you look into it with a flashlight, you can actually see his heart. And he said he's been training for years to do that. Mike, was that training hard on you?
Somebody's triggered. Faggot is triggered. Beware.
Sir, you just said retract your statement or I will sue you, and you think I'm triggered?
Yeah.
When's that lawsuit coming, buddy? Mike, you're literally using slurs. Mike, you're literally using slurs.
The first thing you said was a slur. And you're saying we're the ones using profanity?
Why
the very first thing you said to us was a slur.
Hey, Mike, what's your favorite?
What is the definition of a slur?
What's your favorite part of a cock?
What is the definition of a slur?
What's your favorite part of a cock?
Wait, let's do this. A slur is a highly offensive, insulting remark targeted at a person or group based on identity, race, sexuality, or ability. So you did use a slur, dumbass.
Okay,
stupid.
Faggot.
Can you read?
Faggot.
Mike, can you read? Mike, can you read? Can you read? Can you read? Do you have the ability to read? Do you have the ability to read? No, I don't give a fuck about you finishing your sentence. Do you have the ability to read? Is reading a skill you possess? Or did you grow up in like, you just avoided every piece of writing you had ever seen? Is that what you did, Mike? You just said, there's writing there, can't look at it. What the fuck kind of dumb shit? I already explained how it's a slur because I gave you the definition of slur. Now, are you stupid, Mike? I genuinely, I'm gonna unmute you. The only thing I want to know, Mike, are you stupid? Yes or no? All I want to hear is yes or no. Are you getting muted again? Are you stupid, Mike?
Faggot.
Yes or no? Okay, you are stupid.
Faggot.
Great. So you're muted
Oh
again,
no!
you are
I'm a queer man. You think you using my word fucking affects me? But Mike, you know what did affect somebody? You got so fucking triggered by me describing how much fun I had fucking your dad that you literally said you were gonna sue me, and you have no case because you aren't identifiable. I literally can't defame you. Oh, people might figure out which Mike from New Jersey I am. By the way, defamation, you'll have to prove damages. You'll have to prove the business and money you lost out on because I mentioned how I fucked your dad. By the way, Mike, what was that thing about how the main reason you trained your butthole to gape so high is because you like to do a thing you like to call Pinocchioing? Pinocchio wasn't that kind of puppet, but you said it would be Kermiting, right? Because you said you want people to be able to put their hand so far up your ass that they can actually control your mouth movements. That's Kermiting. You said Pinocchio. He's a marionette. He's not a hand puppet. He's a marionette. So I think to answer the question, Mike, yeah, you are stupid. Pinocchio? He had strings. That's not how you controlled his mouth. Kermit. God, you're fucking dumb. Have a pleasant day. I'm looking forward to seeing your cease and desist. We will be leaving the video up of you. So, you know, a judge will definitely side with you, buddy. Well, that was dumb. I think I might have scared off the other theist with all my discussions of anal manipulations.
Mike is real stupid.
I was waiting for you to be like, hey man, I'm straight and I'm not homophobic, but this is getting uncomfortable for me. I'd get it. I'd understand. I had to be fucking really gross though. All right. Anyway, I'm really excited for that lawsuit. I fucking dare you. I will make a video reading your cease and desist. Bro, I will live stream the trial. Fucking do it.
The lawyer said, how did they defame you? They said something about me I didn't like.
And again, nobody here is identifiable. Like, what's something funny, not mean necessarily, to say about Brian that won't be untrue? I won't be mean yet. Brian from Florida, who beats old women. That is mean. Brian from Florida, please don't sue me. You don't really beat old women. Brian from Florida, pronouns he, him, is MAGA, calling in. I'm going to be most excited to see. I think I took it mostly last time he called in. Brian, what point would you like to make?
Well, there's a few points. I was listening to your stuff on the black crime. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So there was a point on black crime earlier, and I think a good statistic is the amount of black people that are in prison, the actual convictions.
Terrible. That's a terrible statistic.
Well, it's just a fact that that isn't even what I was calling about. I was calling about the capitalism claim.
What percentage of people?
Why do they always go with that?
I want to. What percentage of people in prison are black, Mike or Brian? Sorry, I got you confused with the last dummy.
You're good. It's I think let's see here. I had it in front of me a second ago, like 55%.
Well, that's wrong.
There.
That's wrong. It's 37.
I'm saying,
but it's okay. It's okay to give the wrong numbers.
Well,
what crime?
According to the FBI, 55.9%.
That is not conviction rates. I thought we were talking about conviction rates. The FBI only tracks arrest rates.
No, it's the share of murder offenders that are convicted.
Yes, are you looking at table 43 or are you looking at a different table?
By the
Which
way,
table are you looking at?
That's now even another step removed, because originally it was number of black people in prison.
Yeah. Which table are you looking at specifically, Brian? Which table are you looking at specifically?
Non-negligent. Let me see. The Bureau of Justice Statistics says
table
black
43,
non-Hispanic, 63,900, and then if it's that's table 43. But then so 63,000.
Table 43 is arrest rates.
State prisoners.
Table 43 is arrest rates.
Sentenced prisoner murder rate per 100,000. Black is at 137.
Then you're not looking at table 43. What are you looking at? That's what I'm trying to get you to tell me.
I'm looking at FBI. Well, there's a few. There's table 43. It pulls in.
Table 43 is arrest rates.
Statistics. Yeah, it's not arrest rates. These are what I'm looking at here.
But then you're not. Again, table 43 is specifically arrests. So what are you looking at?
Prisoner rate per 100,000.
Dude, just tell him the source. Rate. Stop. Hey. If I tell you Dumbledore killed Harry, and I just keep saying that, I keep saying, where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that from? And instead of saying Harry Potter 6 and the Half-Blood Prince, you just keep saying, and Snape fucked Lily, and you keep saying things you're reading that doesn't. We're asking you, what is your source? We don't want to hear about how Snape had sex with Lily. We want to hear, what book did you read that in? What are you reading from?
The expanded homicide data from the FBI.
What specifically is the name of the article so we can find it ourselves?
Let's see. See if I can pull it up for you. But we're talking about 10 times different, so I'll give you this.
Where are you? Wait, what do you mean pull it up? You were reading it to us. What are you reading from? Notes you wrote down?
No, ChatGPT pulled in the FBI statistic tables.
So why not click their source? Why don't you click the source in ChatGPT?
Table 40. That's why he keeps saying table 43. Table 43 is arrest rates. ChatGPT is giving you wrong information.
You keep saying table 43. You keep saying table 43.
I asked you if you were reading table 43, and you said yes.
This is sentenced.
I'll play the tape back if I have to.
That. No, that was a part of the analysis.
I'll play the tape back if I have to.
There's about 10 different sources that pull it in, but the rough sentenced prisoner murder rate per 100,000 population, blacks at 137, and white, non-Hispanic, is at 19.
What is the source?
Wait, why did you say blacks and then white instead of black and white? Why did you say blacks, white?
Again, the FBI tracks arrest rates. Jesus.
I'm very curious, though, about this blacks, white versus black, white. Why do you pluralize blacks but not white? Why didn't you say whites?
I said blacks and whites.
No, you said blacks and then you said white. You basically said blacks this percentage, white this percentage. I do. I'm just curious why you think that is, that you say that.
Maybe it was a Freudian slip, and you think I'm a racist, so that's.
No. I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. I definitely think you're a racist for sure.
Can we please just get the damn source, please?
He doesn't have a source. It's ChatGPT and how he's reading off of it. We are debating Google right now. I've done this on Facebook years ago. It's literally like, oh, my link beats your link. It's the first thing I got off of there. Hey, let's say that you're right and black people are 60% of the prison population. Why do you think black people are 60% of the prison population?
They're committing more crimes.
Why do you think they're doing that?
I think we didn't give them what they needed after slavery, and I think there were systems that held them back, and I think they're afraid to accept the good parts of white culture because they were wronged.
What are some of those good parts of white culture?
Oh my God.
I think trusting the police,
Wait, what was the first one? What was the good part?
Trust the people that over police us. Yeah,
trusting the police is a good part of white culture.
Well, it's a nice aspect of being able to walk around and know that the police or don't feel that the police are coming out to get you.
Are the police coming out to get us?
Black folks can't trust white people, and I think that's why it's not letting it go.
I actually agree. Black people can't trust white people. I think that's an accurate.
This is so incoherent.
I think that's an accurate way to feel. That they can have.
And that's not,
I think Jovan and I will always have a wonderful friendship, and he will never know whether I will accidentally leave him out to dry for something that was an internal racist thing that I didn't ever identify. He'll never be able to trust that my whiteness won't be a source of betrayal for him.
That sucks.
Yeah, I know, because we live in such a systemically racist thing, and I was raised so deeply racist, but so subtly racist that it wasn't obvious, that I can't even trust myself to not be racist by accident. What do you mean sad?
I mean, if you've got love in your heart, if you really
no,
do.
Brian,
oh my God.
Brian, I think you're the exact same way. I think you've actually shown it here. I think you've shown with this conversation that you are one of the white people Black people can trust even less than just a white person like me who's at least trying to work on it.
I don't think that's true. I don't think making excuses is the right remedy. I mean,
what is the solution? What is the solution? What is the solution to getting that Black prison population lowered? What would you say is the solution to that? White to white. Pretend Jovan's not here like all of history.
Start by committing less crimes.
Oh, okay. So the solution. So you're saying you see a lot of problems that happened that were caused by white people post-slavery and the things we didn't do for Black people, and the solution would be for them to commit less crimes.
Yeah, I mean.
Hey, do you have a wife?
Stop someone. No.
I think I know why, Brian, because I think at some point you would think if she didn't want me to beat her, she shouldn't have burnt the dinner. Burn less dinners.
Yeah, and that's like kind of like you're holding on to this hurt. And I think you ask the question why Black folks are committing more crimes. I think that's the core of it. Is
here, I just want to cut to the actual core of this. Sorry, Brian. I just want to go to the core of this. Black people are in prison more for what crime specifically? What crime are Black people overwhelmingly in prison for?
Drugs, probably.
Yeah. Was there potentially, I don't know, a giant push by the federal government to pump drugs into Black neighborhoods?
Yeah, probably. But they didn't have to smoke it.
Okay.
They didn't have to sell it.
So hold on. Let me just get this straight. Black people are primarily in prison. And actually, second question, what drugs specifically? What drugs specifically are they in prison primarily for?
Probably marijuana.
Great. So Black people are in prison for smoking what we all know is the most milquetoast drug of all.
Benadryl's worse for you.
They're in prison because white people, again, did a concerted effort, white government officials, specifically at the behest of fucking Nixon and Reagan, primarily, did a concerted effort to jail Black people by over-policing their neighborhoods. Third question here, Brian. Cocaine and crack. So crack, rock, and powdered cocaine. Are they the same drug?
They're cocaine, but they're different physical forms, right?
Yeah. What's the one ingredient added that makes them different?
Oh, I don't know.
It's baking powder. Now, here's a second question. Which one were white people more likely to use? Crack cocaine or powder cocaine?
Probably powder.
Okay.
You're saying because baking soda costs more money?
Nope. If you would do me a favor and just wait, you'll know where I'm going with this instead of trying to assume. Okay. You know what they say when you assume. So we know that white people use powder cocaine more, right? And we know that Black people would smoke the rock form of crack more. because one tended to be more expensive than the other. Now, here's a fun question for you. The crack, let's say the rock. How much of it did you need to have to receive a prison sentence?
Any amount.
Any amount. There's a specific. Let's say. Sure. Let me give you some really juicy numbers on this, just so that you are aware of the disparity here. So when it comes to powder, cocaine, and crack rock, in order to receive a 5-year mandatory prison sentence for powder cocaine, you needed to have 500 grams of it. 500 grams.
Okay.
For crack cocaine, you needed 5 grams. Now, again, these are essentially the same drug. They're just in different forms. Why do you think it was that the federal government placed a difference in the sentencing between powder and the rock form?
Well, I think one is more, I think they're going for how the high is. Like, isn't the crack?
Nope. Here's the fun part. We don't have to. Here's my favorite part of this. We don't have to assume because they admitted to it. It's because they wanted to put black people in jail more. So they criminalized the version of the drug that was most used in black neighborhoods versus the version of the drug most used in white neighborhoods. We don't have to guess. They openly admitted this is why they did it.
It also kind of harkens back to the first caller, I think it was. Literally, the reason why there are more black people in prison is white crimes aren't ever made crimes. Legitimately, take all of these murder statistics you want to go with all of these drug statistics, and they pale in comparison to what insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies have done. Those people have committed more violence on Americans, even the white ones you care about, Brian, than all of these people that you're mad about, that you're worried about their disproportion. And legitimately, your problem is if they didn't want to keep getting put in prison, they should stop burning my dinner.
Yeah, they do need, I mean, so a part of acclimating into a society when they were...
I'm sorry, acclimating?
This is terrible.
Wait, you're demanding black people assimilate? Are you demanding black people assimilate into American society?
Well, I'm talking about after slavery.
Oh, got it. So now that you're here voluntarily, at post-slavery, your voluntary presence, you need to assimilate to white culture. Isn't American slavery part of that white culture? Wouldn't that be a thing where you're like, I don't know if I want to assimilate to that culture that enslaved me?
Not really. Like, I'm Italian. That's the biggest chunk of what I am. I'm 33% Italian, and I'm like 15 other things. And most of those are white. A couple North African, Syrian, and Iraqi is in there a little bit, but most of it's German, Irish, French, European. And
you're able to claim your eyebrows are the Italian part. I get it.
Yeah, they are actually. But my ancestors came here in like 1920, and they were laborers. They were laborers in Sicily. And
I like that we're going. Brian, can I just get ahead of this? You're going to tell the story about the oppression that your ancestors saw. Therefore, you know what it's like because you have a stake in this thing too. And you've managed not to commit crimes. You've managed not to burn, even as you are going to be sitting here in America, white passing. And the fact that you are white passing today means you do not know a fucking thing about it.
Let me ask you a question to you, Brian. To assimilate to white culture, like for black people, should it have been the case that like black people were starting businesses more, they were funding their own communities more, they were more, we'll even say possibly more church going? Would that have been like assimilating more to the culture that you're talking about?
Absolutely, and they did.
Okay, and then what happened to the places where black people did that? Like what happened to like Seneca Village or Black Wall Street? What happened to these places where when they tried to quote unquote assimilate to white culture?
It's sad. Yeah, a lot of people with bad hearts held them down, but none of those people are around today.
Do you here? Let me ask you a question. Let's say you, Brian, are in school. Let's say you, Brian. Let's say you're in school. Let's say there are two types of teachers in your school. There's teachers from Group A and Group B, and you see that whenever your grade goes to classes with teachers of Group B, they just fail them all the time. You'd probably not associate with teachers from Group B anymore, would you? You would probably just gravitate towards Group A, right?
But it's a bad, yes, in that scenario, but that's not an accurate scenario.
Yeah.
I would look at a class.
It's not?
I would look at the percentage of, I would look at the class.
It's not an accurate scenario?
Of people passing and why they're passing.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not accurate.
They're passing because the teachers in Group B, people. the reason anybody passes in Group B is because the teachers just prefer those groups of people. Everybody else gets bulldozed or burnt to the ground from the teachers in Group B.
Not actually true.
Now, if somebody said, that's not actually true. Black Wall Street was burned to the ground. Seneca Village was rolled over. Those are only the two that I'm naming. Do you want to count the amount of black communities that were utterly destroyed? Utterly destroyed by white people. I'm appropriating the pain. Brian, if you say something, Brian, I'm just going to let you know, if you say some dumbass shit like that again, I'm not going to be nice anymore. I promise you. I promise you.
You've never been
I promise you, Brian, you will not like the rest of this conversation. You will not like the rest of this conversation, Brian. Because what's happening right now, I'm going to take this for a second. What's happening right now, Brian, is you're realizing, holy shit, this black man knows a bit more about like his own history than I do. He knows a bit more about like the actual intricate systems that are at play here. He knows a bit more about that. So now you're going, well, you weren't even there. Like that fucking matters. Like me and everybody that exists in my group don't feel the effects of our people being enslaved, being oppressed for 400 plus years. 1619, the first slaves showed up here. So 400 plus years. So if you want to play this fucking nonsense game, Brian, because you aren't as smart as I am and you're incapable of having this conversation, that's fine. Just admit I'm a stupid little baby pants, and then we can play the conversation the way you want to play it, Brian, because I've been very respectful to you this whole conversation. But if you want to engage in white nonsense, we'll engage in the nonsense, Brian.
Yeah, you've been
Name
very,
me,
very
Brian, up until this point, when have I been disrespectful to you? No, Brian, you specifically. Don't be a little bitch and go, well, because you were mean to these other people I don't know, I'm going to be a little dummy. Brian, have I been disrespectful to you? Yeah. When in this conversation have I been disrespectful to you, Brian?
Oh, in this conversation.
Up until this point.
I've spoken with you many times.
I don't give a fuck, Brian. If you're gonna call in, butthurt about a previous conversation, Brian. If you're gonna call in butthurt about a previous conversation, that's on you. Let it go. Be an adult. Be an adult and let it, Brian. Be an adult and let it go. Stop being a baby. Get some. This is what I need you to do. This is what I need you to do, Brian. This is what I need you to do, Brian. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go out into the woods. There's woods probably behind your house because I assume you live in a trailer in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Go into the woods behind your house.
I live on the water.
Take an axe. Go into the woods. Take an axe and go into the woods behind your house. Chop down. You're gonna need about 15 to 20 trees. Chop down those trees. Okay. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna strip the bark from those trees, and then you're going to take the wood underneath that bark, and you're going to build a goddamn bridge, and you're going to get over it, Brian. Because my God, I cannot physically understand how much of a fucking child you are. Genuinely, Brian.
I've
talked to you before, and you were mean to me. I talked to you before, and you were mean to me. You were not nice to me, and so shut the fuck up.
I have a question for Brian.
I don't give a fuck.
Brian, you said that the bad people are gone. The bad people are gone, right, Brian? Hey, Brian, remember how you said the bad people are gone? Hey, Brian.
I'm not going to look at what ChatGPT is talking to you about, Brian.
In what year did Levittown on Long Island remove from their city code the prohibition of selling property to black people?
I have no idea. It wasn't constitutional anyway.
Oh, wait. So what would you guess, Brian? Brian, if it's not constitutional, then why leave it on the code? let me ask you, what year would be too long where you're like, the fact that it's still there, and let's say 1970, even though it's not enforceable, it's still being there? That's kind of gross. What year would that have to be where you go, if a black community were to, if a black community were formed there and go, I think this city might not care for us because they left it in their code, what year would be the latest year that you would go, that's pretty fucking gross?
Well, if no one's looking at it and no one saw it, and there's no reason to even look for it.
It's the city code. It's the city code. It's a city code that is famous, Brian.
Jimmy,
so what
Brian
year?
Just thinks it's not happening anymore, Jimmy. It's not like black maternal mortality rates are higher than whites. It's not like there's a disproportionate amount of black people being arrested or being pulled over. It's not like there's it's not like prison sentences are much longer for black people, even when we account for first-time offenses. It's not like black people's education standards are lower because their schools tend to be more underfunded. It's not like any of that is happening. No, Brian just thinks black people should just suck it up, pull themselves up by them bootstraps that his people so graciously gave us. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I forgot. He's Italian, so I guess not his people.
Yeah. He made you nice Italian leather bootstraps. Brian, engage the question. Brian, engage the question. Engage the question. Let's say, because you said people don't even know about it or whatever. Let's say a lot of people knew about it and has drew attention to it and was like, guys, even if it's not legal and they can't enforce it, it's fucked up. Why would you leave it in the city code? Let's say that's the situation. What year would be so late that you would go, it's gross it took that long to do it?
Just laziness. I mean, if it was actually being enforced, then
not enforced. No. You're saying that it's over. It's gone. If there's no problem with removing it because it's unconstitutional. Because right now, if you leave it into place and something like Roe v. Wade happens and a racist president gets Supreme Court justice in and overturns it, that city code's back in effect. That's why you remove those old racist things. And by the way, white people have had things like that removed. Prohibitions on Irish people and Italian people. The white people stuff, those have gotten ejected from these city codes. So what year would it specifically have to be where you would go, if it was still there in 1990, the year I was born, would you go, that's too late and that is pretty gross? And I would understand black people going, come on, guys, what the fuck? Would 1990 do it for you?
Of course, but
what about 2000?
Like,
oh, you said of course. Let's go the other way. Would 1980 be too late where you're like, okay, you guys don't care about black people? Would that be too late?
I don't know how it plays out on the ground. Like if it's not actually hurting anyone and no one even
I just explained it to you that if you leave it in the city code, I just explained it to you that leaving it in the city code is symbolic. Excuse me, Brian, I just explained to you that there is symbolism to leaving it in the city code. And technically, if the Congress or if the Supreme Court were to basically, like they just did with the Voting Rights Act, like they just did with making it legal now to do racist gerrymandering again, under the guise that there isn't racism anymore, so we won't prohibit it. Technically, if something like that happened, that code would go back into effect. So what is the year? Brian, I know you do because you're a fucking racist. Brian, what would be the year that you would go? That is all right. I'm just gonna give it to you, Brian. It's still on the city code in Levittown. It hasn't been taken away. It's still there. Does that bother you?
What is what's the code again? What's to say that black people can't do?
Buy property in Levittown, Long Island.
Jesus. Is it private property?
Correct. You can't buy homes. In fact, they built the city specifically for soldiers coming back from World War II. It's why I know about it. My grandpa was a D-Day veteran. He bought in Levittown because they made them cheap houses for veterans from the war to come back and buy, but they specifically didn't want black veterans to buy in there. So they weren't just keeping black people at large out. They were keeping black soldiers who fought the Nazis in World War II out. That code is today on paper, on the books, never removed. Tell me again that it's gone. The racism is gone. The people who, there is no... What's that?
But if you looked at the whole map of the United States of the amount of racist laws, if you covered a map of the United States and you saw like a cell phone coverage map, and you saw the places where laws like this existed, you'd say,
yes, Brian, it's because your dumb self thinks the laws have to be explicitly racist. You don't realize, even though we've already went over how they don't need to explicitly write the laws to be racist in order to be racist. See, for example, the crack cocaine disparities.
Brian, we just told you one, but Brian,
the disparities between the arrests in crack and cocaine.
Tell me a racist law.
The mandatory sentencing. Brian,
he just did. You weren't listening, stupid. Brian. That was a law. He literally told you about 2 laws and the way they are different and that they are racist. Brian, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of you talking over us and not listening because he answered your question.
Just dumb.
And Brian, while explaining to you and trying to get a year out of you how late it would have to be, and you were trying to figure out and to find out it's still there, your go-to was, but it's not constitutional. It is people like you who are saying black people have nothing to worry about, but they should be able to ignore all the things that I'm comfortable with because the Constitution prohibits it. I'm so comfortable with all of the symbolic, hey guys, never forget what we did to you and we could put you back there, that the white people are doing. I'm going to bet, I'm just going to go out on a limb, Brian. This will be my last question for you. Brian, do you oppose from public squares? And we're not talking museums. We're not talking places of education, like state houses, having statues of Confederates in front of their state houses. Do you oppose that?
No, I don't oppose. No, I do not.
You don't oppose that? You believe that it is okay for our country to put treasonous, anti-American traitors in front of state houses where black people live, despite the fact that those people were fighting to keep black people enslaved?
We need to remind people who they were. They were bad people.
Great. I already said museums.
Just like you.
Shut the fuck up. You think that. You literally didn't know about Black Wall Street until a comic book adaptation told you about it. You know that shit's not in school. Why don't you fight to keep that shit in school where we aren't educated? I was educated in Louisiana where they basically told us it wasn't even about slavery. It was about states' rights, not slavery. Actually, shut the fuck up. We have to go because I have to get to the other show and then so does Jovan. Fuck off, Brian. What were you trying to say there at the end?
I was saying I don't give a fuck about what he's saying anymore.
Dude, the fact that you would keep Confederate statues at state houses. When the fuck has a state house ever been, I'm going to the state house to do some official business. And while I'm there, I'm going to get an education and a reminder. Why aren't we putting Nazi statues there then? If we need to remember how bad they were, I assume you want swastikas and Hitler statues at the state houses. No, that would be obviously ridiculous. And another R word? Fucking idiot. I'm out. Thanks, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna redirect my people over to the line,
and we're gonna so Forrest and I are about to do the Sunday show after dark. I'll only be there until Jovan's done with what he's doing, and then Jovan is taking my place. So for the 55% of you that likes, what's the most racist percentage number they always like to use? Anyway, for the 98% of you that prefer Jovan over me, and the other 2% of you who are deficient, you will get Jovan back after the first 30 minutes. We're
the 98% of you that are correct.
Yeah. The 98% of you. It's weird for you to have taken that lap because it was already so self-deprecating that it seems like you just joined the deprecation. I feel like that was not needed. Now I would made a joke and now my feelings are hurt. Okay, all right, we'll see you guys over there. Over it. Yeah, will I? With this white fragility? I don't think so. All right, see you guys.